was a scoreline of Chapman Valley 13 goals 4 to Mullawar, no score. There is a game being played today at the recreation ground as well, and in the big game, Railways taking on Towns. Railways in 4th spot at the moment, Towns are in 5th spot, and in earlier games today, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton, we can tell you in the Colts game, it was a score of Towns 8 goals 3, 51 to Railways 7 49. Towns kicked a goal from the boundary with 20 seconds to go to win that game, so a bit of a thriller there in the Colts game at the Rec. In the reserves game, Railways 6-8 to Towns 3 goals straight, so Railways have won the reserves, and we saw that Towns won the Colts. And of course there's no women's game being played at the recreation ground today. In earlier games today at GBSC Sports Park, Brigades in the Colts 6 goals 5, 41, defeated Northampton 4-9, 33. In the reserves, Brigades 10-7, 67, defeated Northampton 3-2, 20. And in the women's game, Northampton 6 goals 7, 43 have defeated Brigades 2 goals 1, 13. So a big and important game today. Of course, it is the Think Mental Health round and a very special round, Peter. And it's good to see a reasonable crowd here today at Eden Clark Oval for the big one.
Yeah, it is a big crowd here today, Glenn. Looking forward to this game. Overcast conditions. Might see a little bit of rain before the game is out. A little bit of a spit as I was heading out here to Eden Clark. Of course, Mayor Jerry Clune is here today because, as you mentioned, a special day. It is about mental health and bringing attention to it. And mental health is an important issue across the board, but very important for young men, Glenn.
It is, and Think Mental Health round says mental health issues can affect anyone. It may be difficult at first, but talking can help, and that's what it's all about today. So, first of all, there's 6 things you can do to help yourself out, or if you are worried about a mate. The first is talk to a mate. The second is talking and listening are powerful. Then reach out if it gets too rough. Mental health challenges can affect anyone and everyone. Engage in relaxation and maintain connections with something you love, and that's why we all love our footy. It's an opportunity to catch up with our friends and our colleagues and our family at footy each weekend as we wait for the Brigades Footy Club now making an announcement. But it's also good to see that a lot of clubs, the umpires are handing out some balls today, and the winners of the best on ground wins that opportunity. So that's how it works. So we're waiting for the players. They are all lining up just on the wing in front of the club rooms committee. So Northampton are at the southern end, and at the northern end will be Brigades. So there's some new seating now. So there's some nice new seating. And there's some new seating being arranged by the City of Greater Geraldton. And the President, Dean Pascoe, just finished a speech. And now we'll have the toss of the coin with Jerry Clune, the Mayor of the City of Greater Geraldton. Umpires this afternoon, umpires Dale Pearce and Robert Bennett. Umpire waiting for the toss of the coin from Jerry Clune. Mick Quick is the captain of Brigades, or one of the captains. And Braden Jupp is the captain of Northampton. Brigades won the toss. Brigades will kick to the Chapman River end in this first term. So a special day, and of course it is the Think Mental Health round, a very, very important round. And of course it's sponsored by the Community Football and Country Football WA, the WAFL, and Think Mental Health, of course. And it is a very, very special occasion. And if you do need support and do need help, do get in touch with Lifeline on 13 11 14. There's always help there, and all you need to do is ask for it, and it can be worked out. So good to have you aboard this afternoon, and a big game, as we mentioned, this afternoon between Brigades and Northampton. And Peter, I'll run through the Northampton lineup, and I'll get you to run through the Brigades lineup. But just looking at the Brigades lineup in front of you, I'll go through the Northampton lineup. From the fullback line, we've got Michael Wright, Jack McQuee and Jared Woodcock. Halfbacks, Braden Jupp, Kai McVie and Liam Paletti. Centre line of Aidan Bartolo, Dylan Ralph and Connor Westbrook. Then we have the half forwards of Kingsley Smith, Harry Taylor, Cam Holmes, and the full forward line of Trent Simpson, Josh Kennedy and Jaden Paletti. First ruck is Flynn Dillon, Jamie Williams and Blake Luxton, and the interchange players are Normington, Atkinson, Berry and Fletcher. That's the lineup for Northampton today, and of course any Northampton side with 2 star AFL players, and it always looks pretty good. Harry Taylor playing at centre half forward, Josh Kennedy lining up at full forward.
The back line for Brigades reads Clay Sipler, Joel Patrick, Nathan Svensson. The half-back line, Harrison King, Isaac Ronan, Henry Perham. The centre line comprises of Jared White, Sam Millett and Lucas Ronan. The half-forward line, Jordan O'Brien, Hassan Ahmet Watkins and Reed Foote. The full-forward line for the Hawks, Christopher Ryder, Fletcher Clostoni and Jamie Ryder. The first ruck is Hayden Johnson, Ben Brockman and Jack Deschamp. While the interchange players, Vic Quick, Dion Dan, Jesse Castleton and Archie Bogard. All is in readiness now for our Drennan O'Malley game day. And to call all the action, Mr. Football, Glenn Barner.
And Peter, in a word, who are you going for?
I think Brigades for this one.
I went for Brigades because of their home ground advantage, but we'll see how it goes. Umpire Robert Bennett gets the game underway in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton, your local community bank. Umpire Bennett gives it plenty of time to come out. Eventually it does. Goes up towards half forward. Out goes the Brigades player, but in goes Northampton now through the agency of Braden Jupp. Jupp gets it out towards centre wing, looking out there for Connor Westbrook. But the Brigades player does well, takes the ball on, then gets a handball away, goes to Brigades. They get it up towards half forward, looking up there for Quick. Quick couldn't control the ball. Ball goes back towards Northampton. Northampton player gets it on his boot, very close to the boundary line. And there'll be a boundary throw-in on the far side of GBSC Sports Park. 35 seconds played in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton.
A crowd right around the ground here this afternoon at GBSC Sports Park. Going in now, it's knocked to ground by Flynn Dillon, the big ruckman for Northampton. Picked up eventually by his teammate there who runs through, and Aidan Botello. Botello is dispossessed, but the ball goes forward again for Brigades. Off the half-back line, though. Goes away of Paletti. He runs through, gets to a teammate. He quickly puts it to his boot into the half-forward area. Trying to find the bounce that's kind is the forward players for Northampton, but the defender for Brigades is resolute, and that player is Isaac Ronan. The ball be thrown up just outside the centre square. Smashed away by the big ruckman for Brigades off the half-back line. It's picked up now by Captain Courageous, and I'm talking about the player there in Jupp into the full-forward line. Harry Taylor goes across the face of the pack and takes a well-timed mark.
Yeah, Harry Taylor take a good mark under a fair bit of pressure there from Joel Patrick. So Harry Taylor, who had a big game in seasons gone by.
Beautiful ace-out kick by Braden Jupp too.
Beautiful kick. He started the game well, hasn't he? So we have an opportunity now for Harry Taylor. He'll kick from 45 metres out. Well, he's 50 metres out at the moment, but the man on his mark is about 45, so he'll kick from about 48. There goes the kick. Looks pretty good off the boot. Falls away to one side, or does it? Bounces awkwardly, and luck's a fortune. It bounces the wrong way. Goes through for a minor score.
Glenn, guess what? We're going to windsock here today.
How good's that? GMH Group scoreboard. The windsock isn't showing a lot of wind at the moment, but we can see that Northampton are one behind, and Brigades are yet to score as the ball comes out of the danger zone. Temporarily, Brigades have it, and it goes the way of Lucas Ronan. He has the ball held to him, and Flynn Dillon will take the free kick for the Rams.
He comes out wide now, does Dillon, and he finds the player there in Dylan Ralph. Dylan Ralph, his expectations for the side this year are great. A former Brigades player kicks it up inside the mouth of the goals, but it quickly ricocheted out by the defenders for Brigades. Through the middle they go. Goes up into the air. No one can get possession of it, or do they? Goes away of Wright now. Wright for the Rams. Puts it to ground. Player dives on top of it. It's still with the Rams now as it goes out the way of Jamie Williams. He gets it to a teammate who spins around. I think it's White again. Wright sends it inboard and they're off. Northampton can set something up into the half-forward area. Harry Taylor is the first in the race to get to the ball right near the boundary. He tries to keep it in his keeping. The defender for Brigades working hard in Patrick, and Patrick earns the free kick.
So Joel Patrick with the free kick. Got a big task again this afternoon. Goes out wide, looking out to the centre wing on the far side. Leading the race for the ball is Brigades, but the ball goes out of bounds. There'll be a boundary throw-in on that far side. Looks like a reasonable crowd here, doesn't it? Fair few cars and people sitting out on their deck chairs and on the back of the utes and the vans enjoying the footy today. Ideal conditions for football after the horrendous downpour we had last week at Nabor at Mazzucchelli Oval. It's very, very pleasant here at Eden Clark or GBSC Sports Park this afternoon. Goes forward. Once again, Michael Wright has been good again this afternoon. Takes the mark, plays on quickly, but he's going to turn the ball over. And he's picked out a very good informed player at the moment in Jack Deschamps. Jack Deschamps plays on quickly, kicks it up the ground. Looking up there for a teammate. That teammate was Lucas Ronan. But Northampton can recover, and they do. And they get the ball up towards half back. and it goes the way of Jamie Williams.
Jamie Williams off the half-back flank. He switches to the middle of the ground. Player out there equal to the task, takes the mark. They play on now down the centre. Nice mark taken by Flynn Dillon. He'll be important as a person going into a finals campaign. A nice kick into the half-forward area, and just as well in the half-forward area. A nice mark is taken by Trent Simpson. Now, Trent Simpson is a bit of a goal sneak. He's got a few goals this year, Glenn. Not quite sure how many.
He's done very well. He's kicking a lot of goals.
He is kicking a lot of goals. He's got a sure foot on him, has Trent Simpson. He's kicking from the far side on a more than a 45-degree angle, but he looks pretty confident kicking toward the southern end. No breeze to speak of so far this afternoon. So here comes Trent Simpson.
He's kicked 17 for the season to this point.
Well,
so he's leading equal goal scorer with Railway's Damien King, who also has 17 goals.
Does the Josh Kennedy skip. Goes across the face of goal, and unfortunately for him, through for the minor score.
So he remains on 17 goals, and his scoreboard for JMH Group here at GBSC Sports Park sees Northampton 2 behinds, and Brigades yet to open their account. Ball to be brought back into play. Clay Sipler, a very reliable back pocket player for the Hawks. Kicks the ball up towards the centre of the ground. Jack Deschamps there.
Ooh, nice
puts
mark.
His big arms out and takes a good grab. Deschamps goes back, kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for Hassan. Hassan Amy Watkins takes a good mark there. Does Hassan Amat Watkins, gets it up towards full forward, looking again for a teammate, and that teammate is Jamie Ryder, and Brigades get their first score of the afternoon. 6 minutes gone in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton, and Brigades quickly get the lead. Brigades go to 1 goal straight, 6. They lead Northampton 2 behinds.
Interesting to note, Glenn, the last time we were out here at GBC Sports Park, only one rider was on the park, both there today, and it does make a difference. Of course, Jamie Ryder getting the goal, but Christopher Ryder certainly helping out in that passage of play. So, Deschamps in the middle of the ground. He looks a likely hombre this afternoon. He took a beautiful mark and got it up forward pretty quickly. Brigades get the first goal on the board, as Glenn said. 1 straight goal, 6. They lead Northampton the 2 points. Back in the middle again. Up they go. Flynn wins it. Goes to ground. Picked up by the ruck rover. Puts it onto his boot. Out to the wing it comes. A nice mark is taken out here by Aidan Bortello. Aidan Bortello kicks into the man on the mark, and that player is Ronan. But Ronan misses the bounce. Goes back to Bortello. He makes up for what he lost. He gives it away now to the veteran there in Kingsley Smith into the half-forward area. Player is tackled high as he goes to ground. And a free kick will probably go the way of Harry Taylor. So Harry Taylor pulls himself up off the ground. And Harry Taylor will now have a shot on goal. So he's right in front of the Brigades faithful here this afternoon, right behind our broadcast position. He's not backing himself. He's going for a shorter kick into the pocket. Up goes Joshy Kennedy over the back of him and through for the minor score.
So a good effort there from Harry Taylor. He sort of copped one across the jaw or across the neck, but he's recovering now and getting his breath back. Another opportunity gone there for Northampton. So they got 3 behinds on the JMH scoreboard. And the Rovers, the Brigade side, have done pretty well. They have the ball on half back now. Goes the way of the player there in Jared White. Comes across the ground. Goes the way of Lucas Ronan. Ronan quickly gets it forward. Looking up there for the hard-running player there in Hassan. Hassan gets the ball forward, but he's offline and another minor score. So on the JMH Group scoreboard, it is Brigades 1 goal, 1-7. And Northampton are 3 behind. So a very entertaining game of football. 8 minutes gone in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. Ball's now with Jamie Williams on half-back.
Deschamps, the general in the middle for Brigades, dictating play at the moment. Coming from the back line from Williams. Straight down the middle. He's looking for support down there, doesn't find it. Player dives on top of the ball eventually and is gathered up. So at the moment, Brigades slightly on top here in our Adrenaline Valley Game Day. This quarter brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton. We spoke to Callie Eastoff this morning on Footy Forum, and glad to be a sponsor. We're glad you are a sponsor in season 2024. The ball out on the far side, though, picked up by Braden Jupp for the Rams. He kicks it further afield. At centre wing, they get the bounce kindly do Northampton into the half-forward area. Kingsley Smith gets it. He's collected, gets it away to a teammate. He's a bit late on the scene in Connor Westbrook, and he takes the ball over the line.
So another boundary throw in at GBSC Sports Park this afternoon. On the far side, the Spalding Park Golf Club side, boundary umpire puts the ball back into play. Of course, it's the mental health football, and the umpires will judge the best of field at the end of the day. Ball comes the way of Northampton. They get it up towards the teeth of goals now. Running close to the ball is Trent Simpson, and Trent Simpson gets another score on the board and gets his first of the afternoon. And Trent Simpson now has 18 goals for the season. He had 17 prior to today, so 1 goal apiece is on the score. And now it is Northampton who lead on the JMH Group scoreboard. Northampton are 139 and Brigades are 117. And Trent Simpson gets his first goal at the 10-minute mark of this first term.
Yeah, 2-point ball game here for Drennan O'Malley. As mentioned, this quarter brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton, celebrating 15 years this coming month. So congratulations to Community Bank, a bank that puts a lot of its profits back into the community. And we certainly pays dividends, that's for sure. Back in the middle now. Umpires today have a reasonable game to adjudicate. Both these sides trying to get those top 2 spots. Chapman Valley sit proudly at the top of the premiership table, but Northampton and Brigades chewing away at their coattails as the free kick goes the way now of Northampton. Off the half-back plank it comes. A nice kick into the half-forward. There he is, Kingsley Smith. Medition, he goes through the middle, loses his footing, tries to get it out to Taylor. Taylor's got 2 to beat. He goes one way, then the other, gives it back to a teammate there, who quickly puts it onto his boot. Off the side of the boot it comes and is out on the full. And that player to get hold of it on that occasion was Brodie Atkinson.
So the ball will be brought back in, and it's Harrison King to bring the ball back in. Been impressed with Harrison King's season. He's been very solid for the Hawks this year. Gets it up the ground and finds a teammate there, and Clay Sippler. Sippler on half-back, clubroom side at the southern end, moving it up towards the northern end, kicks it up towards centre wing, looking up there for a teammate, whistle on play, and a player's caught while put the ball down inappropriately, or the ball goes now to Jordan O'Brien back in the side. Brigades missed him last week.
Nice
O'Brien gets to the way of the big fella in Clastorney. Clastorney goes across the ground, goes the way of the player there in Ronan, gets it to Ryder, back to Ronan. Ronan shoots on goal, and a good goal there from Lucas Ronan. A very good goal indeed, but a good bit of play there from Clastorney and also Ryder, and a good finish, and that's what you want when you're going towards goal. Lucas Ronan gets his first of the afternoon. On the JMH scoreboard, we've played 12 minutes in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton, and it is Brigades. 2 goals, 1-13. They lead Northampton 139.
Lucas Ronan going down and having a run with East Fremantle last week, Glenn, and bringing back the goods to our competition.
It's great to see, and it's a great thing because players come back, of course, playing at a greater level and a higher level, and come back and play very good football. And Lucas Ronan and his brother Isaac, both very exciting prospects into the future.
Certainly. So Brigades, seesawing affair. They've taken the lead, 2-1-13, leading the Rams 139. Great standard at the moment, really enjoying it, Glenn. And very much of a contrast to last week's game out at Nabor. Not that I didn't enjoy the game, but the way the game's being played is completely different. The ball still inside the centre square. Players diving on top of it at the bottom of the pack. They try and dish it out. The umpire's letting it go on. Gee, finally, it comes off a boot. That's Johnson for Brigades. He sends it to the half-forward line. Can't be collected by Dan. Eventually goes away of his opposite number. Down the line they go, and they're away, are Northampton. Can they answer the last goal by Brigades? Into the half-forward area, Harry Taylor is met strongly by his opposite number there in Patrick. He's not able to get the ball. The ball goes to ground. A bit of a pack develops. The umpire lets it go on once again. Eventually blows the whistle, and there'll be a ball up just inside, or just outside. Can't tell from here, but it's very close to the 50-metre arc. At the end to which Northampton are kicking, that's the southern end of this particular quarter. Up they go. Flynn Dillon wins the knock. Going to ground. It's picked up now by the player there in Clay Sippler. Sippler out of defence. Goes toward the direction of the boundary, but it's ricochets back now inside the forward 50. Up they go. No mark is taken. Northampton want to grab here. So they can answer the challenge, but the whistle has sounded, and the umpire will throw it up once again. As I said, this quarter brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton. Into round 8, coming off the pack, goes away. Is a Brayton jump who picked it up?
No,
that's Blake Luxton, who roved off the pack. That's a beautiful roving piece of football by Blake Luxton. Glenn said today on Sportshed Saturday that he's been impressed by Luxton this season, and beautiful roving off the pack and finishes with a goal. A seesawing affair here at Eden Clark Reserve.
Yeah, nothing in the score. JMH Group scoreboard, and Brigades are 2 goals, 1-13. They trail Northampton 2-3-15. So 2 goals apiece. Jamie Ryder kicked the first Brigades, Lucas Ronan the second. Trent Simpson kicked the first for Northampton. Now Blake Luxton has got their second. So we've got 14 and a half on in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. And as you mentioned, Peter, a special week for Community Bank Geraldton. 15 years of service to the community, and they're only getting bigger year in, year out. Ball comes the way of the big fella for Northampton. Flynn Dillon. Ball comes back to Dylan Ralph. Goes back to Brigades, however, through the player there in Perham. He gets in the way of Michael Quick. Mick Quick gets it up the ground, finds Jordan O'Brien on centre wing, clubroom side, kicks it up towards half forward.
Oh, nice mark.
And a good mark taken there by Fletcher Clastorni. Clastorni has the ball now, puts it on his left boot, but it's smothered off the boot. He'll go back in to retrieve it. Ball comes out again to the Brigades big man, and Hayden Johnson by hand goes the way of another talented player in Sipler. Sipler gets it towards forward pocket, looking up there for Jamie Ryder. Ball comes back into play, goes the way of Northampton. Northampton kicked an own goal and off hands and through for a minor score. So Brigades go to 2 goals, 2-14, and Northampton are 2 goals, 3-15. A 1-point ball game, and we've played 16 minutes in quarter number 1.
Ball coming out of defence now, and it's marked in the middle of the ground by Northampton. And he's come right down the ground as Simpson. He gets dealt with late, though. Umpire didn't see that. Ball goes further afield. In fact, he might have done, so it will come down. A free kick will go the way of Trent Simpson. You can't continue off the ball, that's for sure. But no, the umpire didn't see that. So it's going the way of Brigades. Out to the far side, though. It goes for the Hawks. And they set something up, going the way now of the player there in Kristen Ryder. Chris Ryder spins around and sends it inboard. Bit of a low angled kick. Doesn't make the intended target. The defender for Northampton does the better, I think. The umpire says, boys, give it to me and we'll throw it up. Not far from the scoreboard. 2-3, that's Northampton. Lead the home side Brigades 2-2. Latter stages of the first term. Out of the pack comes that player, and he scores another goal for
Hassam Ahmad Watkins.
Brigades. And, well, we're only talking about that player this morning. I heard you talking on Footy Forum about how he entered the competition with a bit of a warning sign. It's been quiet for a couple of weeks, but today he's getting a bit of the ball.
He is, and he's a very talented player, as you can see from that goal. Not an easy shot from where he was. Wouldn't have seen a lot of daylight. He was just in front of the scoreboard, right on the boundary line, but he got it through somehow. And the Brigades have taken back the lead on the JMH Group scoreboard. Brigades are 3 goals, 2-20, and Northampton are 2 goals, 3-15. Great contest, played in very good conditions. The ground is pretty solid, although a bit soft, particularly in the midfield.
We're seeing about 6 games worth of score from last week, Glenn.
That's right, and it's only not even quarter time yet. How good's this?
It's amazing, eh?
But it makes the conditions are pretty good, and the oval in comparison.
Looking fantastic, Eden Clark.
It is very wet underfoot, but still a big improvement on the conditions that the players played in last week. Ball goes the way of Flynn Dillon, throws it on his boot, gets it up towards half forward. The danger man there is Trent Simpson. He can do anything if he gets hold of the ball, but in front of him is Isaac Ronan at the moment. Ball very close to the boundary line on the outer side. In goes young Reed Foot, goes it out to his teammate. That teammate throws it on his boot. That's Ben Bockman. Gets it up towards the centre wing. In goes Michael Jr., Michael Wright Jr. that is. Gets in the way of the player there in Braden Jupp, but he's taken him on, and he tried to break the tackle, and the umpire says, no, it's a free kick. And fair enough too, if you don't get rid of the ball with the first opportunity, the umpire has got every right to make you pay the penalty. So Clastorni gets it forward, gets it up towards half forward, goes the way now of Reed Foot, gets it up towards Dion Dan.
Ooh.
Ball comes back, player was slung. That's the way the umpire, Claire Knight, has seen it. And go the way of Ryder, and Ryder will have an opportunity to shoot on goal. So Brigades, as we head towards time on, have an opportunity now to get close to it. Is that Christopher or Jamie?
It's Christopher, I think.
Yeah, it is Christopher, yep.
Yeah, but he was certainly slung, Glenn. That's nothing surer than that.
So Christopher Ryder has the ball now, and he's shooting on goal. Just in front of the scoreboard, and the nice electronic scoreboard here makes life very easy. So there goes the kick from Ryder in his red or orange boots. Looks
Bang.
pretty good off the boot. And he's got a good one. Christopher Ryder gets his first goal of the afternoon. His brother Jamie kicked one earlier. So on the JMH Group scoreboard, it is another goal to the Hawks. And Brigades go to 4 goals to 26. They lead Northampton 2-3-15. And you're tuned to Radio Mama. We're the home of GNFL football. Drill O'Malley Motors Game Day. Peter Forenza and Glenn Barden calling all the action. Hope your Saturday afternoon's going well wherever you are.
And, of course, the AFL's got a few buys this weekend. The Melbourne Football Club certainly needed a buy with what's been happening with them lately. But our very own Judd McVie is at the game today, Glenn.
It's lovely to catch up with him, wasn't it?
Hello,
Yeah.
he trained with Rovers last night. So he certainly hasn't forgotten his roots, that's for sure, has Judd McVie. Back in the middle now. It is 4-2 plays 2-3. A great game here at Eden Clark. The ball off the half-back line through Williamson for Northampton. Sends it out into the forward area, half-forward area that is. The ball doesn't bounce well for Harry Taylor, who's almost gobbled up. Goes backward now to Flynn Dillon. Quickly puts it onto his boot. In fact, that player is Jaden Paletti. Paletti sends it inside the corridor. Comes off hands. And the defence for... let's see what's happened here. The defence for Brigades ensure that it doesn't go through the goals quite easily and goes through for the minor score. Out the back line now they come. Looks like it is Ronan who has the ball. He kicks it to centre wing, but Northampton take a clever mark there into the half-forward area. And a nice mark is taken there by Trent Simpson. So Simpson getting a lot of the ball early for the Rams. Sends it inside the corridor. The player is dealt with as he goes up for the mark. That's Josh Kennedy. The umpire says, no, for opportunity there, boys. We'll throw it up once again. I thought Joshy Kennedy might be going to get a free kick there. Just like in the AFL, he doesn't get any free kicks here either. The ball comes in now, comes out of the pack, goes away now of foot, light of foot. He goes to a teammate to the outer side, and Brigade's almost away. Hang on, says this player in Dashcamp. He slows it down. Probably one of the better players on the park for the first term for Brigades. He finds the intended target down the line. That player is Ronan. Ronan sends it inboard, and they're away again, our Brigades. Up goes foot, a beautiful mark by the youngster. Up against a much bigger player. He quickly spins around, sends it into the half-forward area, and finds the target there in Ryder.
So Ryder with the ball is becoming damaging. The two Riders playing together, first time, I think, this year.
Makes a difference, Glenn.
It does. So an opportunity now for Christopher Ryder.
The Cracker brothers.
Yeah, well, they sort of know each other so well.
Yeah.
And an opportunity now for Christopher Ryder to get his second in as many minutes.
They're not twins, though, eh?
No, I don't think so, no. So Christopher Ryder with the ball. There goes the kick. Looks pretty good off his left boot, and he's a dead-eye Dick. He gets it straight through the centre, and Brigades, as we head into time on, the latter stages, would be pretty happy with the scoreboard at the moment. On the JMH Group scoreboard, Brigades are 5 goals to 32. They lead the opponents, Northampton, 2 goals, 4-16. And this first term, with thanks to our friends at Community Bank Geraldton, this week celebrating 15 years of service to the community and looking forward to a week of celebrations.
22 and a half minutes gone in this, the first term. Could be a little bit of time on with 7 goals scored in the quarter, Glenn. So high scoring quarter. Good to see the goal. Same too last night in the AFL. A very high scoring game. And it tends to make it quite interesting. Well, I think anyway. The ball back in the middle now as time ticks away in the first term. Up they go. It's won by Clistorni on this occasion. Goes to ground, but it's picked up by Northampton off the half-back line. Wright gets it, sends it into space. Running onto it are Northampton as they come down the wing now. Can they set something up on the half-forward line? Up goes that player in. Oh, he goes to ground, and Kingsley Smith didn't get on the first attempt. The umpire said you didn't on the second either. Gives it away to Harry Taylor now. He sends it inside the corridor. Mark here to Northampton would be good. Player comes buffeting through, fisted away. Trent Simpson was all ready to take the mark, but the defender in Castleton ensures it goes through for the minor score.
So an interesting score line. Final scores have come through for the women's game being played out at Greenock this afternoon between Chapman Valley and Mullawar. Game with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Full-time score, Chapman Valley 18 goals, 8, 116 have defeated Mullawar, no score.
Ball out of defence now for Brigades, holding sway as we go into the first break, and it's a handy lead considering how there's been ebbs and flows in this first term. 32 plays 17 in favour of the Hawks. It comes into their half-forward line once again. Northampton to the outer side. They kick it into space on the far side, the wide expanses of GBSC Sports Park. There is again Trent Simpson. Racking up kicks. Harry Taylor takes a nice mark. Lace out from Simpson. He marks about 25 metres in. He doesn't trust his kicking, which is interesting, Glenn. He was only about 25 metres out. Decides to go for a player that's playing on, running on. Well, that player is quickly curtailed. The ball goes to ground, into space. Picked up by Millett now. Millett sends it toward Perham. Perham's dealt with late. The ball goes over the top. Luxton picks it up, turns around on a 50-cent piece, puts it inside the corridor. Kennedy at the back. He doesn't go up. He waits down. The defenders for Brigades do. The ball is brought to ground. Players diving on top of it. You wouldn't want big Josh Kennedy on top of you, that's for sure. And there'll be a ball up just in the shadows of the goals for Northampton.
Yeah, a bit of pushing and shoving and a little bit of weight in that pack, as you mentioned, Peter. Dying stages of this first term. Brigades are doing well. Can Northampton get a late goal? They desperately need one. Northampton would be best, or Brigades would be best, as they were, to run the ball through. Very sensible bit of play there from Ben Bockman. So a minor score, but a force behind, but it's better than a goal. Now Brigades can reset.
He served me my hot dog today, Ben Bockman.
Yes.
Hot dog and Coke. He was working in the canteen along with Henry Perham a little bit earlier on.
Well, at least they weren't eating the hot dog and Coke, which I had one as well, Peter. I'm not judging, but I'm just
good
saying.
Hot dogs out here at
Brigades. They are very good hot dogs out here at Brigades. And if you're looking for seeing a good game of local footy, come on out here to GBSC Sports Park. Still plenty of footy to go. Still anybody's game, but at the moment, Brigades are doing well. Goes the way of Sipler, gets it to way of a teammate. The ball smothered off the boot there of Harrison King. A pack develops, and one of the three umpires this afternoon, Dale Pearce, will come in and throw the ball up. Umpires this afternoon doing a great job for the GNFL, as always. Robert Bennett, Claire Knight, and Dale Pearce. Umpire Pearce puts the ball into the air, the mental health ball. The mental health ball, which is up for grabs for the best on ground this afternoon. Goes the way of the Brigades player there, has the ball smothered off his boot, Lucas Ronan. So there'll be a boundary throw-in on the outer side, about 20 metres around from the left point post at the city end of the ground, or the southern end of the ground.
Lucas and Isaac, both the sons of the great Shane Ronan. Isaac getting to wear number 3, Glenn.
Very good. So, of course, Shane Ronan, one of the great players from Brigades over many, many years. Got many, many possessions and played many games. As the ball goes up in the ground, almost a good mark to Harry Taylor. And the ball goes forward, and the ball will be thrown up again, and the ball will be thrown up again. So an opportunity for the players to go forward. So Northampton, can they get a late goal in this term? Northampton have the ball very close to the boundary line. Brigades defence are working hard. Umpire saying play on. Ball goes out of bounds, and the boundary umpire will come in and throw the ball in once more.
As we alluded to, or I alluded to earlier, Glenn, a very long quarter this one, 27 minutes gone.
Yes. It's amazing these girls in front, they don't seem to know that there's a camera behind them. They keep standing up. So the ball comes the way of Brigades now.
They can put it on their Instagram.
Yes. You would walk out the other way. Ball goes the way now of a young Northampton player working hard. Goes the way of young Reed Foote. He gets the ball forward, goes the way of Michael Wright now for Northampton. Hey! The big fella, Josh Kennedy, has taken a mark. He's been paid the mark. And Josh Kennedy, the superstar from the AFL, takes the mark of the day to this point. The Brigade supporters are arguing about it.
I don't think he held on to it long enough, but certainly had all the effort.
Joel Patrick or someone at Brigades didn't think he did either, and now he's getting a 50-metre penalty. So Josh Kennedy will kick the ball just across the line, and Brigades will pay for that one, a costly one, and a good effort there to Northampton's Josh Kennedy. He gets his first of the afternoon. Northampton get their third. So on the JMH Group scoreboard, Northampton are 3 goals, 6-24. They trail Brigades 5 goals, 2-32. So 9 scoring shots to 7. So really, Northampton have had a fair bit of forward 50. Haven't got the efficiency around the goals. But 28 minutes gone in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. But it was a very, very good effort there from Josh Kennedy.
Deserved to be paid the mark.
Even if it wasn't.
No, in the end. But he finally finished after a discretion from his opposite number.
Who asked, how could that be a mark?
Put it through the middle. Back in the middle now, players setting themselves. Clistorni in the ruck now, but goes as far as Larkston, who puts it onto his boot for Northampton, puts it out into space. Running onto it now is Foote. He's tackled a little high as the youngster, and Reed Foote just backward of the centre square. will get the free kick. He comes out wide now, finds Boakman. Boakman in front of our broadcast position, gives it away to a teammate who decides to give it back. Boakman under pressure, puts it on his boot, sends it down the wing. The crowd says he was dealt with later, I should say, after the event, and a free kick downfield. Henry Perham has the ball. Henry Perham, he's asking what should he do, umpire, and he decides to play on. A nice lead as he comes through now, and Watkins and takes another mark. And Watkins is only about 25 metres out from goal, Glenn, almost directly in front.
Yes, so he's getting a bit of a touch. The ball at Northampton need to be very careful. Tom Berry gave away an indiscriminate free kick. No need for that. And all of a sudden we see Brigades shooting on goal, getting that goal back that Northampton needed to get back. And Hassan Ahmed Watkins, who's kicked a goal this afternoon, lining up for his second. He's 40 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the Chapman River end, and the river is flowing. So if he kicks it hard enough, there goes the kick. Beautiful kick from Hassan Ahmed Watkins. He's in good touch this afternoon. He gets his second of the afternoon, and Brigades get their sixth. So Brigades recover from that goal from Josh Kennedy very quickly. 30 minutes gone, so it's a very long quarter. Brigades are now 6 goals 2, and they are 6 goals 2, 38. To Northampton 3-6-24.
Almost a mirror reflection, isn't it,
yeah,
on the scoreboard. I'll tell you what, if that ball had gone into the river, they'd be going out to Sunset Beach to collect it, Glenn, because the river has broken. And both rivers are broken around Gerald. And, of course, a lot of people headed out to Greenough during the week because it is a bit of an event, isn't it?
It is. It's lovely, isn't it? The changing of the season and how quickly the river, when the river comes down, the fields green up, the paddocks green up, and so do the riverbeds. And it's a beautiful time of year. But it's a very, very interesting scoreline here at the moment in favour of Brigades on their home track.
31 minutes gone in the quarter, Glenn. It's a long quarter, but a lot of goals into the half-forward area once again for Brigades. Defender does well on that occasion for the Rams. Kicks to the outer side. Under a bit of siege late in the first term, thanks to Community Bank. Need to slow things down a little bit, one would think. The ball coming across the ground, picked up by Dylan Ralph. Hadn't seen a lot of him today. Expecting bigger things as he knocks it into the half-forward area. Trying to run onto it on this occasion is the youngster there in Connor Westbrook. Is unable to do so. Goes away eventually of the player there in Jamie Williamson. He plays on into space, but there's Reed Foot again. Gee, straight onto his toe he goes. Kicks it into space, and there he is to try and collect it. That is the captain. We're talking about the player there in Mick Quick. He's unable to collect it. The ball spills free. Goes backward to centre. There's Braden Jupp. He kicks it high, wide and handsome into the half-forward area. Through comes Kennedy, and it looks like he's going to get another free kick here. No, it's not Kennedy. It is actually Paletti, I think, who's got the ball. So Paletti, he tries to play on, a little bit too cute on that occasion. Loses possession. The ball spills free. Still in the possession of Northampton, but no. Going back the way of Millett. He knows what to do for the Hawks. He sends it into space. Looking for Christopher Ryder. Ryder's unable to judge the bounce. The ball goes to ground. Players diving on top of it. And there'll be a ball up just metres away from the crowd here. A very enthusiastic crowd at GBSC Sports Park this
afternoon. And they're getting their money's worth. 32 and a half minutes gone in this first term. 6 goals to Brigades, 3 goals to Northampton. 24 plays 38 in favour of the Hawks as the Hawks go forward again. Goes the way of Jamie Ryder. Jamie Ryder did have possession apparently. The ball comes the way of Blake Luxton. He gets it up the ground looking again for Clastorni. A big pack develops and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up on centre wing just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box. Umpire Robert Bennett. Umpire Bennett had to clean his boots after umpiring last week at Mazzucchelli Oval, but they look pretty good today. They were new boots, and he's recovered them, which is good to see. Ball goes the way of Northampton players, and Ralph slaps the ball away from the young player there in Berry. So Northampton players needing a little bit more focus and looking after each other. So the boundary umpire will come and throw the ball in again. 6 goals, 2, 38. Brigades, 3 goals, 6-24. 33 and a half minutes gone in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. Goes the way of Clastorni, slaps the ball forward, goes the way of Ralph, comes back towards the player there in Jordan O'Brien. Ben Bockman gets the kick up along the boundary line. Ball goes out of bounds, just up from the Brigades coach's box, and the ball will be brought back into play. So the
players waiting for that break, Glenn. It's been a tough 30 minutes, that's for sure. 33 minutes, in fact. The ball about to be thrown in just in front of our broadcast position. You're watching filming footy. Thank them for their support of GNFL football. The ball going the way of Hayden Johnson, almost caught in possession. Bit of a call from the crowd as it goes away now of Castleton. Castleton loses possession. It's played on down the line by the player there in Kingsley Smith, but as he gets it into the half-forward area, the siren eventually sounds to announce that it is quarter time here in our Drennan O'Malley game day. And at quarter time it is the Hawks. Brigade 6-2-38. Leading the Rams, Northampton 3-6-24. And you're listening to Radio Mama. We are the home of GNFL football.
Today.
tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Quarter time at the football, Drennan O'Malley Motors game day on Radio Mama. We're the home of GNFL football. Glenn Bone and Peter Forenza bringing you all the action today for round 8 of the GNFL Premiership season and Think Mental Health round. Quarter by quarter scores with thanks and summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. For Brigades, their goal scorers, Hassam Ahmad Watkins has kicked 2, and singles to Christopher Ryder, Lucas Ronan and also Jamie Ryder. And a very good situation there for Brigades. And Northampton, their 3 goals. Trent Simpson has 1, Blake Luxton has 1, and Josh Kennedy has won. Contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day from Northampton. I thought Braden Jupp worked hard as a ruck rover. Flynn Dillon in the ruck. Michael Wright in defence. Blake Luxton across the midfield. And also Dylan Ralph. And up forward, Harry Taylor, Trent Simpson and Kingsley Smith working well. We're underway in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Geraldton. Umpire Knight gets the game underway again. Goes the way of that player in Luxton. Blake Luxton throws boot to ball. Gets it up towards half forward. Important quarter for the Brigades side and the Northampton side, because Northampton have the ball in their forward 50. Ball goes out of bounds and the ball brought back into play.
Glenn, better players in that term for Brigades. They shared it around a lot. Listoni in the ruck and also around the ground rucking. Deschamps in the middle. Joel Patrick doing a great job on Josh Kennedy. Millett in defence and up front Ryder and Armit Watkins. Both the Riders, in fact.
Ball goes the way of that player now in Ryder, and that's Jamie. Gets it away to teammate, but only as far as Brigades, Ben Bockman. Bockman gets it up the ground, right in front of our broadcast box. Goes the way of Kai McVie. He goes by hand to a teammate there in Bartolo. Goes in towards the centre, goes the way of a Brigades player. Ball thrown to ground. Blake Luxton's down behind play. He caught one a bit high, but he's recovering now. And he's up. He's coming off. Ball to be thrown up again by umpire Knight. Knight puts the ball into the air. And that is the mental health ball. Mental ball. Goes the way of Flynn Dillon. He gets it out, but only as far as the Brigades youngster in Lucas Ronan. Brigades get it forward again, looking for Ryder, but Michael Wright stands his ground. And Michael Wright, who was amongst Northampton's better players in that first quarter, gets a short pass and picks out a teammate. And that teammate is Jared Woodcock. Woodcock on half back, kicks it up towards half forward and finds Harry Taylor. The opening minute and a half of this second term. He plays on now, puts it on his left boot, gets it up towards full forward. Ball running free once again. An opportunity for Northampton if they get a handle on it, but Brigades do well and soccer the ball out, but it goes straight back into a Northampton player's arms, and Northampton have it there, and it's through the player there in Connor Westbrook. And Connor Westbrook, 50 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the Chapman River end, as Hassan Ahmad Watkin comes off with what looks to be a little bit of a niggle.
Okay, comes in now as Westbrook. Remiss me not to mention Lucas Ronan in the better players for Brigades in the first term, getting a lot of possessions. The kick is wide and up into the air, but doesn't make the distance. Comes through off hands and through for the minor score. The scoreboard ticks over. The Hawks 6-2-38. They lead Brigades 3-6 or 3-7. 6-2-38 Brigades. Lead Northampton 3-7-25. The breeze slightly favouring the River End this afternoon, ever so slightly though. The ball out of defence is with Sippler. Sippler down the middle of the ground. Players set themselves. Fisted away by the player for Northampton. Into space it goes, but it's picked up now by Brigades. Under the guise of the player there. And Jared White, he kicks it out toward the forward part of the centre square, and a free kick will go the way now of Wright. Michael Wright sends it inboard. Flynn Dillon equal to the task. Dillon, reigning JJ Clune medalist. He kicks to the outer side. It's a good kick by Dillon. He's looking for a player running through there. Kingsley Smith got a little bit late on the scene as Smith. This ball misses all and sundry. And two players get locked into each other. And the ball goes over the boundary. So the ball about to be thrown in from the far side of GBSE Sports Park. As we said, a big crowd in attendance. Thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. She's sponsoring this particular term. Ball coming in now, Northampton. Desperate to add to their tally as they send it into the half-forward area. Diving on top of it, their forwards working pretty hard. Desperation is the word. And the ball is bottled up once again.
4 minutes gone in quarter number 2 with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. And at quarter time at Red Dust Holdings Recreation Ground, it is Railways 3 goals straight 18. They lead Towns 2 goals to 14, so a 4-point margin there in favour of the home side, the Blues. In the other game that's being played at Greenough this afternoon, that game's just got underway. It's only 13 minutes into the first term. And, of course, Chapman Valley are playing Mullawa today at Greenough Oval as Harry Taylor lines up the shoot on goal. And an important kick for Northampton. And Harry's got a beautiful kick on him. And he's got a goal on the board, an important goal. And Northampton go to 4 goals, 7-31. They trail Brigade 6 goals to 38. So it's only a very narrow 7-point margin here at the GBSC Sports Park on Drennen O'Malley Motors game day.
Interesting, Harry Taylor deciding to take the kick there from 40 to 45 out, and it was a lot closer at this end of the ground, the City end, Glenn, in the first term, but elected to pass the ball off. So interesting, to say the least, but we'll see how the game unfolds as far as Harry Taylor and his shots on goal go. Back in the middle now, and things evening up, as Glenn mentioned, here at GBSC Sports Park, thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Ball back in the middle. Game slowed down a little. It was played at a frenetic pace in the first term. A lot of goals scored as the ball comes the way now of the custodian there in Jordan O'Brien, is quickly slung to the ground, and he's a recipient of a free kick. Going back the way now of that player in Deschamps. Deschamps sends it further afield, but there he is. Jupp, the captain, takes a nice mark, is dealt with when he gets rid of the ball. So the umpire has blown his whistle. So will the ball come back or go down the ground? So Jupp is asking the question. But no, it's going back the way of Brigades. Strange one, that one. And here's the way of Quick. Quick now. He's looking for the player to run through, and Dan, he can't take the mark, but he gathers it well, gets through the pack, puts it onto his boot, up into the square it goes, but alas, it goes too far to one side, and through for the minor score. It was like a bull at the runs in Spain there, Glenn. He just went straight through the middle.
It does, as Northampton bring the ball out of the fence. Goes the way now of Mick Quick. He slaps the ball forward, running as far as Northampton. Northampton have it through the agency of the young fellow there in Bartolo. He gets it up, goes the way of Jamie Williams. He breaks across the centre. Williams gets it up towards half forward where he finds Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor has the ball. He's a good 50 metres out from goal. Gets a short pass on though. Finds big Josh Kennedy. Josh Kennedy leads the race for the ball. Nathan Svensson was following him. Nathan Svensson's got his leg very heavily strapped.
I was about to say the
and
same
he doesn't.
thing,
it looks like it mightn't be too good because he's holding it. I think he may have maybe stretched something or pulled something. So Nathan Svensson may be in doubt, I'd say, from this point. As we see Josh Kennedy to shoot on goal. Josh has kicked one this afternoon, and he got that from a free kick at a 50 metre. So Josh Kennedy is 40 metres out on this occasion, and this time he's shanked it. Gets a minus score on the board for JMH Group, and it is Northampton. 4 goals, 8-32. They trail Brigades 6 goals, 3-39. So 9 scoring shots to also 13. So Northampton are getting the ball in the forward 50, just not as efficient in front of goal.
Finishing off as well, that's for sure. 7.5 minutes gone in this, the second term. Hayden Johnson goes up, almost gobbled it up, but didn't take it in the final analysis. Goes to ground, picked up now by Jaden Paletti, who plays on, but the whistle has sounded. Something happening behind play, a lot going on today as the umpire sends the ball back, and the free kick's on the way of Aidan Bartolo. Bartolo getting a lot of the ball this afternoon, an unassuming player, certainly got these smarts about him as Bartolo. Bartolo now will shoot toward the big sticks. Not a bad kick. He's trying to size things up over the back of the pack from a couple of players for Northampton, unable to hold on to the grab. The ball goes to ground and be balled up once again. A debutant about to come onto the ground now, youngster Glenn, and he is Archie Baumgart.
Played his first game last week.
He did. So he was supposed to.
He didn't play, eh?
No, he didn't get on the park, but he's on there today.
Okay, so the ball comes back in from the throw up, goes the way and slapped forward. So the ball will go back towards Brigades, and Hayden Johnson is the player. Hayden Johnson gets the ball forward, goes the way now of another young Brigades player, and Reed foot, but the ball spills out, goes the way of Dylan Ralph. Dylan Ralph kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for Kingsley Smith. Trent Simpson's there, he gets slung out of it. The umpire says, what? Umpire says, play on's the call, and now he's caught in possession. So the free kick will go the way of the Northampton player, and Jamie Williams is that player, and Jamie Williams is only 30 metres out, directly in front. Harrison King pleads his case. I think he thought it was a dead ball sometime earlier, but he was caught in possession, and the free kick goes the way of Jamie Williams. Jamie Williams shooting on goal, so Northampton back in this contest straight away, and they're only a point behind if Jamie Williams kicks this one. This time he shanks it to the other side of the post. Hit the post. So another minor score, so another opportunity wasted. Northampton go to 4 goals, 9-33. They trail Brigades 6-3-39 on the JMH Group scoreboard. And this second quarter on Drill and O'Malley Motors Game Day, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack.
On the far side, it is with Brigades. It's Perrin below the scoreboard. He sends it further afield. Patrick has it now down the far side of GBSC Sports Park. Big crowd in attendance, as we've said, as they go up into the air. Northampton take the mark on this occasion. Northampton player comes laterally, though. Gee, lucky he gets away with it on this occasion. Coming inboard, finds a player there in Dylan Ralph. Ralph plays back, sends it back to where it came from. And it's marked by the defender for Brigade. So off the half-back line now, Brigades. They're being pushed now in this particular term. Early in the second quarter, they had a reasonable lead of 14 points at quarter time. It's been whittled away in the early stages of this stanza. Ball off the half-back line now. So Northampton looking for their options downfield. Player plays on very cleverly in the end. He kicks it down. A beautiful kick into the half-forward area. Got a lot of distance. Below the scoreboard, it hits the deck. Doesn't meet any target at all, but players are desperate to get hold of it. Northampton, a free kick here would be timely, but the umpire says no. Umpire's letting it go on quite a bit today, Glenn, in conditions that people are enjoying here at GBSC Sports Park.
Yeah, umpire Dale Pearce to throw the ball up just in front of the scoreboard. 39 plays 33 in favour of the home side Hawks. Goes in towards the Brigade's defensive zone, though. Northampton have it in the danger zone, but a good tackle put on there by Joel Patrick. And Joel Patrick with the resultant free kick. So Joel Patrick
taking it up to Harry Taylor today, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Well, he's a very experienced player himself, isn't he, Joel Patrick? But he's kicked the ball high, wide and handsome this time. Puts it right up in the air. Big pack around the ball. Ball goes the way of Braden Jupp. He gets it over towards the hard-running player there in Trent Simpson. Goes up to Kingsley Smith. It was. Goes to Trent Simpson now.
Bang.
And Trent Simpson finishes off. And Trent Simpson gets a very good point. And he misses it from almost point-blank range. So Northampton get another point. 4 goals, 10, 34. And Brigades are 6 goals, 3, 39. So 14 scoring shots to 9. And yet Brigades still lead by 5 points.
How Trent Simpson missed that one, Glenn.
He kicked it into the post. Yeah, it was too easy.
Too nonchalant.
Too easy, yes.
Yeah, the ball going forward again for Northampton. It's been their forward 50 for most of this term. Coming out of a pack, it goes. Brigades working hard into space. Can they get hold of it again? Northampton and soccer it through. A little bit too late on that occasion. And through again for the minor score. So Northampton go to 4 goals, 11, 35, trailing Brigade 6-3, 39. Foot playing at both ends of the ground. The youngster sends it down the line. Colstoni takes a nice mark. He's nice and tall and takes a good grab. He gives it to a teammate who plays on. White down the line. The bounce is in kind. Goes back the way of Quick to Colstoni. He's got eyes for the youngster running through. That player is foot and able to judge the bounce. It goes back now to Bertoli. Bertoli for Northampton sends it in, and it's marked by the player there. He did pretty good on that occasion in Williams.
Jamie Williams with the ball. Kicks it up towards full forward. Looking again for Josh Kennedy, but the boundary line is too close. And the boundary line beats the ball across. So there'll be a boundary throw in about 30 metres around, 20 metres around from the left point post. Chapman River end of GBSC Sports Park. Boundary umpire put the ball back into play. 13 minutes gone in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. And we've got a real contest here. Northampton are peppering away, but they're getting a lot of minus scores. Northampton in this term have added 1 goal, 5, and Brigades have added 1 behind. And Brigades have an opportunity to add to that tally now as the ball goes forward, but not a very good kick from the Brigades youngster in Archie Bogart. He turned the ball over, so the defence of Northampton, Jack McQuee gets the ball up towards the player there in Jaden Paletti. Ball goes out of bounds, and there'll be a boundary throw in on the outer side. Good crowd here at GBSC Sports Park, particularly on the outer side, but a reasonable crowd here on the new seats, which are very nice. Part of a City Grants, and they look very nice and very comfortable. So it's good to see lots of people
utilising. And the mayor's checking them out today, isn't he?
Yes, he's sitting back and enjoying what is a pretty entertaining game of footy too. Ball goes the way of Harry Taylor now. Feeds it out to a teammate. That teammate gets it up, Dylan Ralph, but only as far as the Brigades defender there. Brigades player in Jesse Castleton gets the ball back. Almost a good mark taken by the big man in Flynn Dillon. He got up high, gets it up towards Josh Kennedy, goes through his hands. Brigades would do well to get the ball out of there quickly, and they do. And Brigades recover, gets it away of the young player there for Brigades, who kicks the ball up, but it's not a good kick, and picked out the big man once again, Flynn Dillon, who's having a good day, and Fletcher Clastoni is too, so it's been an interesting duel.
It's interesting to see young Foot playing at both ends of the ground, Glenn, in the back pocket and running forward as well. The ball goes away of Brigades, but Northampton intercept on this occasion below the scoreboard. Can they play on and get it into a scoring opportunity? The defence for Brigades working hard. G. Castleton is a tough customer, that's for sure, and along with Millett, he ensures that the ball doesn't get any further forward. So the ball about to be thrown up just inside the forward 50, one would think, for Northampton. Gee, it's a lot different. This game has been played as it was in the first term. Glenn, it was very open, goal for goal, but now things getting bottled up quite a bit. As
we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Game being played out at Greenough Oval today. 7th place Mullawa up against the top side, Chapman Valley. And at quarter time, Chapman Valley 5 goals, 1-31. Lead Mullawa 1 goal, 2-8. And in the other game being played at Red Dust Holdings Recreation Ground, Railways 3 goals straight, 18. This is a quarter time score. Lead Towns 2-14. So a 4-point margin there. And there is a 23-point margin in the game at Greenough.
It's a good football all round here in the Great Northern in round 8 of the GNFL. The ball's been bottled up for quite a while in the half-forward area now for Northampton. The defence locking horns. That is the Brigades defence with the forwards for the Rams. But a free kick has been found, and it looks like it's Paletti who has it. He goes back to have the kick. Liam Paletti, premiership player with the Rams. So Paletti, he'll kick from about 40 when he gets onto this one, and he's on a reasonable angle, just a little bit better than 45, kicking toward the river end. Paletti, not a good kick off the boot.
Good goal.
Yes, but over the top of players and through for a major score. So it doesn't matter how good the kick is as long as it goes through the big sticks. And finally, they break the scoring goal drought, that is, for Northampton, and they go to 5 goals 11, I should say, and they trail Brigades 6-3. They lead 41-39, a 2-point ball game.
Yeah, so Liam Paletti gets the Northampton's second goal of the term. Harry Taylor kicked the first at the 4-minute mark, and now Liam has kicked one at the 17-minute mark. So an interesting scoreline, and Northampton take the lead for the first time this afternoon since the start, and Brigades have pretty well held sway, but that's probably because of their efficiency in front of goal. Northampton have wasted a few opportunities, 16 scoring shots to 9, lead only by 2 points, but they lead as we head towards time on in this second term. Umpire Pearce puts the ball into the air. Clastoni knocks it to the ground, gives an opportunity there for Brigades, but slapped away from him by Northampton. Northampton player Williams there goes in, gets it back towards the player there in Flynn Dillon. Dillon kicks the ball forward. Northampton player gets shoved out of it. Play on's the call. In goes the hard-working Northampton player there in Trent Simpson. Has the ball held to him. And umpire Bennett will come in and throw the ball up about 40 metres from the danger zone. Clastoni for Brigades slaps it to ground. Goes the way of Trent Simpson again. But umpire Bennett has no option but to come in and throw the ball up once more. 41 plays 39 in favour of Northampton, the reigning premier. The ball goes back out towards the boundary line, just in front of the scoreboard. Can Brigades do something with it now? They do. Brigades send it back towards centre wing, where a good mark taken by the big fellow there in Dion Dan. Dion Dan, a very efficient and very clever player, gets it up the ground, finds a teammate there in Mick Quick. Mick Quick back in the lineup today, working hard. He came back from travelling last year, so it's very good to see him back in Brigades colours again. Ball comes up, goes the way of Northampton. And Brigades, can they get a score on the board? They've kicked 1 point in this quarter. They need to kick a goal because Northampton kicked the last 2. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up just on the boundary line, just very, very close to the 50-metre line. So it's at Brigades' end of the ground. It hasn't been up there too often this quarter. As I mentioned, Brigades have kicked 1 goal, kicked 1 point in this quarter, whereas Northampton have been a lot more productive because Northampton have kicked 2 goals, 5. So the ball thrown up again. The big fellas go at it. Flynn Dillon grabs the ball for the Rams, kicks it up towards centre wing, looking there for Kingsley Smith. He has 2 to beat. Ball roved beautifully by the Northampton player there, Connor Westbrook. He kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for Harry Taylor, but reading the ball best is Jamie Williams. Jamie Williams shoots on goal. Jamie Williams puts the ball out of bounds, just deep in the pocket, and the ball will be brought back into play. Heading into time on in this second term, 20 minutes gone, and on the JMH Group scoreboard, it is Northampton 5-11-41. They lead Brigade 6-3-39, and a pretty entertaining contest here at GBSC Sports Park.
Almost hitting the big break this quarter, the second quarter, brought to you by Melissa Price, the member for Durack. The ball coming in board now, players diving on top of it. Bit of a messy affair. Hard to see who's got purchase. Either side at this stage, according to the umpire. You'll go on and throw it up once again. 5-11 plays 6-3, 41 plays 39. The Rams have stolen the lead in the latter stages of this term. Last goal was scored by Paletti. The ball on the far side. Brigades have it now. Haven't had it in their forward 50 too often in this particular term as the ball comes down the ground. Can they do something now with Ryder? Ryder sees the lead from Ryder. It's Christopher Ryder who judges the bounce. He can run into an open goal here. Let's see what he can do. Christopher Ryder tries to soccer it toward the big sticks. Probably a little bit too early on that occasion. Quickly mopped up by the defender there. And they get out of jail to the Hawks, I should say, to Northampton. The ball goes to the far side. Up they go. Brigades get another bite of the cherry. Coming inboard. Nice mark. Beautiful mark is taken by Fletcher Glistone. He's having a ripper of a game this afternoon.
He's got a good pair of arms. He takes a good grab.
He reads the game so well too, Glenn. He is a basketballer of note, but decided to play football this year for Brigades. Used to play, I think, Glenn, juniors for Thunder, the Peel Thunder, I think.
That's right, yes,
correct.
that's right. Yep.
So he's about 30 metres out from goal when he gets onto this one. And he's on a 45-degree angle. Haven't seen him kick too many goals. So let's see how he goes. Fletcher Glistone kicking toward the city end.
It's against the trend because Northampton have had the ball in their forward line, but they haven't got the score on the board.
Nice kick.
That's a good
straight kick. Fletcher Glistone nails that one. And that is the 7th goal of the afternoon. They retake the lead to Brigades here at GBSC Sports Park, 7-3, and they lead Northampton 5-11.
Yeah, good goal, very good goal. So he is a forward, he is a big man who can go forward and kick a goal, which makes his worth a weight in goal. So good effort there and a good bit of work from Brigades because they've been outclassed in this quarter for the majority, no doubt about that.
I hope he's going to Country Week, Glenn.
Well, we'll have to find out.
The big men are needed big time down there.
Yeah, no, let's hope so. There's a few good big men around, though, at the moment. And, of course, Flynn Dillon, last time we went to Country Week, he was in Europe. So hopefully he may be closer to the Western Australia come Country Week time. But you never know. Ball goes the way of the player there, and Henry Perham. Henry gets it forward, but only as far as Jared Woodcock. He feeds it out to Dylan Ralph. Dylan Ralph gets it up towards centre wing. But Brigades have it through Ronan. The young man centres the ball, looking again for Ryder. Ryder has 2 to beat. Puts in a good contest. Picked up now by the player there in Braden Jupp. He goes by hand to the player there in Liam Paletti. Ball goes forward. And now we have it through Brigades full back in Joel Patrick. Kicks it out towards centre wing. Looking out here for the hard-running player in the young man for Brigades in Jared White. Sees the ball across the boundary line, and the umpire will see the ball thrown in just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box here at GBSC Sports Park. And once again, Drilling O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Barter and Peter Forenza, we've got the best seats in the house. And
also, you're watching on Filming Footy. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast this afternoon, live and local from GBSC Sports Park. The ball going the way of Sippler. He's all at 6s and 7s, loses possession, goes away Williams now into the half-forward area. He's looking for that player in Kingsley Smith. The veteran goes to ground, tries to bottle it up, loses possession though. He gets back and ensures that his player, opposite number, doesn't get too far and the ball is dragged back in, or the player is. And the ball will be thrown up just inside the oval at this stage. But as I say that, the siren has sounded, and as Glenn said, a power failure here at GBSC Sports Park. And at half-time, it's Brigades who have snatched the lead back from Northampton, and it is Brigades leading in our General O'Malley Game Day, and we'll be back after the halftime break.
Today's Drenton O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our sponsor Melissa Price, your local member for the seat of Durack. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio
You're
Mama.
listening to Radio Mama, 100.5 FM through Geraldton, 102.9 FM through Carnarvon, 95.7 FM through Mullawall, 97.
I'm here at GBSC Sports Park. It is a very, very interesting scoreline. Brigades 7-3-45, lead Northampton 5-11-41. You'll note that Brigades have had 10 scoring shots. Northampton have had 16, but Brigades, to their credit, still lead by 4 points. They led by 14 points at half-time. Our half-time summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. The goal scorers for Brigades: Hassam Ahmad Watkins has kicked 2, Jamie Wright has kicked 2, singles to Lucas Ronan, Christopher Ryder, and also that is too many goals there. So Hassam Watkins has kicked 2 goals and single goals to Jamie Ryder, Lucas Ronan and Fletcher Clastorney. Looking at the goal scorers for Northampton, single goals to Trent Simpson, Blake Luxton, Josh Kennedy, Harry Taylor and Liam Paletti kicked a very good goal as well. Looking at contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day, Northampton had a lot of the ball in their forward line. They're not getting the score on the board that they'd like. Across the midfield, I'd like Braden Jupp and Blake Luxton. They're working hard. Flynn Dillon working well on the ruck. In defence, Michael Wright is doing well. But up forward, Harry Taylor, Trent Simpson, Kingsley Smith making themselves available, not getting the score on the board. So it's a 4-point ball game in favour of Northampton. Peter, you're looking after the better players for Brigades in that first half. Who did you like?
Well, the defenders came into their own, Glenn. They're under the pump quite a bit, and Castleton and Sippler certainly came to the fore. Joel Patrick doing a good job continually on Josh Kennedy. Lucas Ronan, I liked him. He continues to get a few kicks, but I thought the best on ground for Brigades for that quarter and for the game so far is Fletcher Clastorney in the middle, in the ruck, up forward and around the ground.
Okay, we're underway in this third term, the premiership quarter for Drilling O'Malley Motors, as we see Northampton go quickly forward through Blake Luxton. He gets it into the forward 50. Deep in the pocket, he's found a player there in Kingsley Smith. Kingsley Smith has the ball deep on the boundary line on the golf club side of the wide expanses of Eden Clark Oval. And now we have an opportunity. Kingsley Smith, the veteran, lining up for goal. Can Northampton start getting value for effort with their forward 50s? Opportunity now, Northampton, can they take it? There goes the kick, goes right up towards the teeth of goal. Big Josh Kennedy comes out, ball comes out the back, goes the way of Brigades player in Nathan Svensson, kicks the ball forward, but his kick was cut off, and once again Blake Luxton comes in and takes a very good mark. So Blake Luxton is 35 to 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle, almost directly in front. Probably closer to deadly in front than on an angle. So Blake Luxton, who's been one of the better players today for Northampton, shooting towards the city end. An important kick and give Northampton the lead again. It's been a bit of a seesawing contest. There goes the kick from Luxton. It'll fade away to the right-hand side. Off the hands of Harry Taylor. Ball goes out of bounds. There'll be a boundary throw-in. So no score there. The ball will be thrown in,
and just
5 metres away.
Reminding viewers and listeners, Glenn, that the breeze is not much to speak of at all.
Yeah, no contest at all. As we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Half-time at the football at the game at Greenough and Chapman Valley. 12 goals, 1. Lead Mullawall, 1 goal, 2. Waiting on a half-time score from the other game between Railways and Towns. Northampton working hard through Josh Kennedy, picked up now by Clay Sippler. In goes the Northampton player, has the ball held to him. That was Kingsley Smith. Good tackle put on by the Brigades defender. He had one arm pinned and had no prior opportunity. So the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. So the ball will be thrown up. Goes the way now of the player there for Northampton. And Bartolo goes the way of Williams, but it's picked up beautifully by Harrison King for Brigades. Kicks it up along the outer side, looking there for Mick Quick. He's got a couple to beat. Ball comes out to Northampton. Bartolo gives it back to a teammate in Wright. Gets it up towards the player there in Kennedy. Picked up again by Paletti, or is that Normington? Normington, I think it is.
Yep.
And a very good goal, and made something out of nothing there, did the player in Josh Normington. And a very good goal. And Northampton take the lead on the JMH Group scoreboard. 2.5 minutes gone in this third term, the premiership quarter for Drennan O'Malley Motors. And we can see the scoreboard now. And Northampton are 6-11-47. They lead Brigades 7-3-45. It was a 4-point margin in favour of the Brigades club at three-quarter time, at half time, I should say. And now as we start the third quarter. It's a 2-point margin in favour of Northampton.
Brigades, incidentally, led by 14 points at quarter time. So they've held the sway at each of the breaks, but Northampton have pushed their way back into this game. As we see, this player certainly is playing a big part. I'm talking about Flynn Dillon, big ruckman. Held Michael Storney on that occasion. The ball coming out of the middle. It's picked up by Boakman. He tries to get it forward. Curtailed his efforts. Players dive on top of each other. And be a ball up just not far away from the original throw up here at Eden Clark Reserve. Player standing back now. Umpire throws it up. Fisted away by Dillon. Back to the player there in Harrison. Harrison King, that is. He kicks into the half-forward area for Brigades. A rider's there, but he's quickly pushed off the ball. Goes back the way now of Northampton. And that player is Jupp. Jupp sends it out to the wing, and there he takes the mark again, the last scorer. And Josh Normington, who plays on further afield into the half-forward area. Several of the defenders go up. It's Patrick who wins the day. Normington, he sends it back to Nadal from Federer. Across the net it goes. Normington takes his time. Nice kick inside the corridor. Up goes Harry Taylor. He can't take the mark, so too. Player there to try and take it is Kingsley Smith. Comes off all in sundry and over the boundary in the far forward pocket area for Northampton. So Northampton are getting on top a little here this afternoon. Now, Drennan O'Malley Game Day. This quarter incidentally brought to you by Ron, John, Rachel and all of the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors.
So the ball to be thrown back into play. Goes the way of the Northampton player in Kingsley Smith. Kingsley Smith. What a goal. And a good bit of play there from Kingsley Smith. And as you say, Peter, Northampton's starting to get their mojo going. And they've kicked the 2 goals in this term. Josh Normington kicked the first. And now Kingsley Smith has kicked the second. And we've played 5 minutes in this third term here at GBSC Sports Park. And the scoreboard on the JMH Group scoreboard is Northampton 7-11, 53. They lead Brigades 7-3, 45. So looking forward to a half-time score from the game at the recreation ground, because Towns have kicked 4 goals very quickly and they lead Railways at the moment. So we'll get the score as soon as we can.
Getting a little bit excited there, Glenn, for the Bulldogs.
Well, it's surprising. I think we all thought that, they weren't quite up to Railways, but
also
we'll find out.
down one of their key players today as well. So interesting to get that update as hopefully as soon as we can. The ball back in the middle of the last score by Kingsley Smith, veteran for Northampton, premiership player, of course. We're going to the far side. And first in the race is Brigades, but that player loses possession. The player was Ryder, going to the half-forward area. Running onto it is the youngster in foot. He does well, goes one way then the other. Finds a sanctuary of the boundary though. Ball about to be thrown in then from the far side. Dark conditions here, very overcast, but no rain as of yet. But a lot of spectators in attendance for what was predicted and is certainly the game of the day in our round 8 of GNFL football for season 2024. The ball coming inboard now, a mark is taken. So the player to play on now for Northampton. Inside the corridor, up goes Joshy Kennedy. He can't take the mark. He's well above the skyscrapers as he tried to latch onto that one, but wasn't able to. The timing wasn't there. Comes off hands and spills over the boundary once again. But Northampton, as Glenn mentioned, have received their mojo, or got their mojo now. They're starting to get on top of Brigades. Let's see if the Hawks can answer the challenge.
So the ball will be thrown back into play. Ball goes the way of the big fella for Brigades, and Hayden Johnson slaps it over the back. Opportunity for Northampton to get it forward again through Braden Jupp, their skipper. Gets it up to big Josh Kennedy. Kennedy has the ball slapped away from him. Bit of good play there from Nathan Svensson, who's done a great job on Kennedy to this point, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Both him and Patrick are doing a great job. Both of them are working on the big fella, and we did think earlier on that the player in question, Glenn, that you're talking about was paying attention to an injury. Heavily strapped thigh, Svensson, but he seems to have come good. The ball going into space now, and it's a player in Ronan who gets it. Ronan to Ronan, that's a classic call in this competition as the latter is dealt with, and the ball will come back to the player in Isaac Ronan. He dealt with when he got rid of the ball. Ronan wearing his dad's favoured number 3. To the outer side it goes. Perham. See a bit of pedigree there. Ronan to Perham. Down the line it goes. And Brigades still have it at centre wing. So
Jared White
now sends it inboard. Looking for support in there. He doesn't find it in the end, or they still do have it, do Brigades, as they try and keep it in their keeping, and it's with Jordan O'Brien, but he loses possession. The ball comes back now off the boot of Northampton into the half-forward area. Kennedy comes right out of his full-forward position. He's outpointed on this occasion by his opponent, and we're talking about Svensson. Svensson to the outer side, finds Perham again.
Henry Perham with the ball on half-back as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. The ball goes up the ground, goes the way of Brigades Harrison King. And looking at a scoreline, and it's been a very good quarter for the Brigades, for the Towns Club. They've bounced away. 17 minutes into the third quarter. Railway 6 goals straight. Towns are 10 goals 3. So Towns have got the march as we head towards three-quarter time at Red Dust Holdings Recreation Ground.
Now, Glenn, you looked at Railway's side on paper this morning. Was there any alarming outs for them?
Not that I could see. No, not that I could see. It looked like a pretty reasonable side.
Lucas Ronan's taken a nice mark in the half-forward area. He's playing a good game as the youngster, Glenn. So Lucas Ronan, he's only about 30 metres out, or maybe 35, wearing the green boots, kicking toward the river end. And as you just heard from Glenn, Towns have taken the lead over Railways at the recreation ground, the home of the Blues. Down without Marquis today, one of their key players, but they've answered the challenge as we see the kick from Ronan. Gee, it's a good one, but not good enough, and through for the minus score. So Brigades trying to get that pendulum back here at GBC Sports Park.
As the ball comes back out, it's over on the scoreboard side. 53 in favour of Northampton to Brigades 46 as Brigades go back. They need a goal. Goes the way of Hassan. He couldn't mark the ball. Goes back in to retrieve it. Pack around the ball. Umpire Knight says play on. The players comes out. Comes back to Northampton. Goes forward to the Brigades player now in the player there in Ryder. Throws it on his boot, but he is offline. A minus score only. On the JMH Group scoreboard, 10 minutes gone in this third term. Drennan O'Malley Motors quarter. And it is Northampton 7-11-53. They lead Brigades 7-5-47. Ball goes straight up the centre. Goes the way of Northampton player there in Harry Taylor. He gets put to ground. Goes the way of Braden Jupp. Gets the handball again back towards Jupp. He's doing well. Feeds it out. Looking there for the player there in Luxton.
Oh.
But in goes the player there in Ronan. He went one too many shimmies and he found himself out of position. The umpire's giving him the benefit of the doubt. So the ball will come back. So the free kick will come the way of Blake Luxton. Blake Luxton has the ball backward side of the square. So Blake Luxton working well in the midfield again today. Gets a big kick up towards half forward. Brigades have the numbers. Good bit of play there from the Brigades player there in Isaac Ronan. He slaps it to the ground. Picked up again by Jordan O'Brien. He gets it up the ground, finds Lucas Ronan. Lucas Ronan kicks it up towards half forward. Looking there for a teammate in the player there in Sipler, but a Northampton player in Batullo's there. Batullo has slipped over at the crucial stage. Umpire puts the ball up.
Sorry to interrupt, but Brigades don't seem to have many tools in their forward line, playing with small forwards today. Maybe Clistoni could move into the full forward position, because when he was in that position in the first term, paid dividends.
Yes, it'll be interesting. They may do that in the last quarter and see how he's going, because he's got Hayden Johnson on the ball now. Goes the way of the Brigades young man in Lucas Ronan. He gets it to his brother Isaac. Isaac gets it up the ground, up towards centre wing. Looking up there for Mick Quick. In goes Braden Jupp. And Braden Jupp sees the ball across the boundary line. Braden Jupp telling us this morning he's had a few niggling injuries this year, but he looks pretty good today, playing good footy. And the boundary umpire will come and throw the ball up. So interesting scorelines across the grounds. Half-time the game out at Greenock Oval. And Chapman Valley 12 goals 1 lead Mullawa 1 goal 2. And an interesting scoreline up at the recreation ground where Towns 10 goals 3 lead Railways 6 goals.
Luxton, a nice kick into the half-forward area. Jeff liked his game today. In recent weeks he's been good, as we see the youngster slide into focus there. I'm talking about Foot. He picks the ball up, spins around on a 50-cent piece, gets it down to Millett. Millett sends it further afield and finds the chest of the Brigades player who's dealt with late. The player will get a free kick. That's Jordan O'Brien. He goes around a couple of players. He plays on into the half-forward area. Ahmet Whiteley goes out and tries to take the mark. Watkins, I should say, but it eludes him and spills over the boundary. So we have a really fast, good skill game today, Glenn. It's enjoyable to watch.
It is a very good game of football. Still anybody's contest. 53 plays 47, 6 points the margin in favour of the reigning premier Northampton. Ball is in the forward line for Brigades now. Can they get a score? Time ticking by in this third quarter. Picked up by Northampton defence. Holmes kicks it forward, but only as far as Sippler. Clay Sippler, the Brigades defender, has the ball on half forward now. Kicks it in towards the forward pocket. Brigades have two players there. Good mark almost taken by the Brigades player. He plays on, handballs it forward. Cam Holmes clears the ball for Northampton. Kicks it back, but once again Sippler's there and takes a very strong mark. So Sippler with the ball has an opportunity to send the ball forward, and he does so now from the centre of the ground. Kicks it up towards full forward, looking up going for Hassan, but once again Blake Luxton stands his ground. So Blake Luxton playing well in defence, playing well up forward, playing across the midfield. He's a good rangy size is Blake. Gets the ball up towards centre wing now. Ball slapped forward. Goes the way of the player there, and Jared White for the Hawks. He goes across the ground, finds Ryder. This time it's Jamie. Jamie Ryder with the ball. He's 60 metres out, kicking towards the Chapman River end of the ground. Himself. Yeah, he might as well. So Jamie Ryder goes back.
There's no big hands up there except, I think, for Dan for Brigades.
He's right in the goal square. He's saying kick it as hard as you can. So let's see how Jamie Ryder, he's got a pretty good boot on him.
He does.
Let's see how he goes. He's kicking from 55 metres out. Big kick on his left boot. It won't make the distance, or will it? Off hands and a minus score. So Brigades on the JMH Group scoreboard, 15 minutes gone in this third quarter, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors, and Brigades are 7-6-48 and Northampton are 7-11-53.
Flynn Dillon gets it away to Harry Taylor, right in front of our broadcast position for Radio Mama. Josh Kennedy just about takes a one-hander, not paid on this occasion. That attempt was better than the last one he was paid, one would think. The ball coming back the way now of Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor sees the big fella again, goes for JK. He's got a couple to beat. He does so, gets it away now to Normington. Normington puts it inside the corridor, but the offensive play of Harrison King ensures that he takes the mark strongly, gets his side out of danger. Back down the corridor, Johnson. He's up against Flynn Dillon, the two ruckmen. No one can take the mark. The ball spills free. Trying to jump in on top of it again are a couple of players. At the base of the pack too is the player there for Northampton, who can't get hold of the ball. The ball comes out of the pack now, goes inboard. Up they go. No one can take the mark. Northampton have the runner play now as Luxton comes through again. Lace out. Mark to Kennedy. 30 metres out from goal.
So Josh Kennedy gets the good mark, but it's a good bit of play again from Luxton. Got the ball deep.
Very
into
composed
attack.
Kick, that one.
Yeah, so Josh Kennedy has had to work very hard. Nathan Svensson's worked very well. So Nathan Svensson stands the mark. He's 45 metres out, almost directly in front. So Harry Taylor is playing well. So too is Josh Kennedy. So Josh Kennedy shooting on goal. He's kicked plenty of these in his time, but this time the ball fades away. Or does
No, it didn't.
No, he got it straight through the centre. And Josh Kennedy gets his second of the afternoon. And Josh Kennedy becomes Northampton's first multiple goal scorer. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, Northampton back in the lead. Northampton are 8 goals 11, 59. They lead Brigades 7-6-48. So just looking what's happened since half time, Brigades have added 3 points since half time, and Northampton have added some 3 goals. So that's the importance of kicking straight, and Northampton starting to get some value for their efforts, and it is a very interesting scoreboard. On the JMH Group, just repeating, Northampton are 8-11-59. They lead Brigades 7-6-48.
You're listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Peter Forenza and Glenn Barnden joining you. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast. Also on Filming Footy, this quarter brought to you by Drennan O'Malley Motors, Ron, Rachel and all the team. And Drennan O'Malley on Chapman Road, the best place to buy a used car in Geraldton. The ball coming through the middle now, going the way of the custodian for Northampton, who's quickly brought to ground. Rolls on top of the ball, and the ball will come back again. Up they go. Off the boot of a Brigades player into space. The youngster in foot tries to tackle his most bigger opponent. Doesn't have any effect there as the ball goes forward for Northampton once again off hands. And in front of the big light tower goes over the boundary. It is 8-11-59 That is Northampton leading Brigade 7-6-48. We are into the latter stages of the third term. Very long first quarter. We saw Brigades lead by 14 points. They led by 4 points at half-time. Northampton have a lead now in this Drennan O'Malley game day as the ball comes back into the corridor. Joshy Kennedy sweeps upon it. He's got a couple to beat. Will he beat them? The big man moves in. He knocks it forward. He gets it again, puts it onto his boot in the end, but is quickly dragged to ground as the ball spills free. The defence, Castleton leading the way, ensures that the ball gets out of danger and finds a sanctuary of the boundary.
As we go around the grounds with thanks to Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton and the City of Greater Geraldton. At three-quarter time at the recreation ground, Towns 12 goals 3, 75. Lead Railway 6 goals 137. So upset brewing.
A bit of a boil over there at the recreation ground. So we'll keep an eye on that. And the big last quarter by Railways, one would think, but maybe the way the game has been going, it looks like it could be in Towns keeping and one of their big scalps for season 2024 as the ball goes toward the boundary. There's Luxton again. He gets it away to Normington. Normington is swung around 1, 2, 3 times and caught in possession, and the ball is with this player, Ronan. Loved his game today, young Ronan. Doesn't give up. He puts it into the middle, looking for another youngster in foot. Couldn't take the mark. Over the back it comes. Comes the player there for Northampton, who does the better. Puts it inside the corridor, and we see a lead by Harry Taylor further down the field. So all the good work's undone pretty quickly by the defenders for Brigades as Northampton get this goal, Glenn. It's quite a significant one in the context of this particular match. And Harry Taylor is going to kick full distance of this one. He's going to be 45 to 40 when he gets onto this. Standing on the arc as we speak on the far side of GBSC Sports Park, kicking toward the southern end. No breeze to speak of. Let's see what the big fella can do. H to his friends. Here he comes, Harry Taylor, the Geelong legend. Just chips it. And chips it too far to one side and through for the minus score. And
out on the full.
Out on the full. One be thinking, Glenn, he is favouring some sort of hamstring or something, isn't he?
Okay, yeah, there's a story. There's a few Railways players went into the game today a little bit underdone, carrying a few strains. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays out. Won't do them a lot of good if they had to play today and they weren't right, because they've got a big second half of the season ahead of them. So they've got to be right when that happens. The ball comes forward and Towns on target to take the premiership points there and move a little bit closer up the ladder, and in fact can move to be equal points with Railways after today if they win. So that'll be very interesting.
Very hard to believe that a side that is well and truly looked after on the sidelines like the Railway Football Club will allow players underdone to take it to the field. But
well, I think they're a bit short of players.
Yes,
I think
that would only be the reason, I'd say.
Yeah, that's right.
So the ball on the far side now. We have a lead here to Northampton, 59 plays 48, 11-point lead. That is the biggest lead Northampton have had in this match. Brigades struggling to get a score on the board, as I said, playing a small forward line in this game this afternoon. I was thinking Fletcher Clestorney hasn't come back onto the field, I don't think. He went off earlier in the term. I hope he's not injured, because they could do with him down forward. There he is, just as I said it. He came out from the forward area. So he came from a blind side of me there, Glenn. And there's the ball back with
Ben Bachman.
Ben Bachman. He comes laterally now, finds Ronan. That's Isaac Ronan, takes a mark in the middle of the ground. He sees Perham. Up he goes and takes a nice mark. In fact, that player that took the mark was Jordan O'Brien. Jordan O'Brien goes inside the corridor. Up they go. A few players up into the air. Clestoney just went as high as he could, but he's just come through into the player in front of him. And that's Jack McQuay. And Jack's hit the deck, but he's up again. So Fletcher Clestoney into the clouds he went on that occasion. And as I said, Glenn, maybe the coach is thinking like me. He's set himself there at full forward. Yeah,
so Northampton have an opportunity to clear it, but they don't. Goes the way now of Ryder. Ryder throws it on his boot, kicks it up to his brother. Whistle on play. And a player was held there, and that was the player there, and Christopher Ryder was held while not in possession.
Interesting one, Glenn, because, like if that was at the other end of the ground, it might have been a little bit different. But the siren has sounded here to announce it at three-quarter time, but we'll wait for Ryder to have his kick, but it looks like the kick's going to go to him. Yep, Ryder is going to have the kick. So Ryder, Christopher Ryder that is, with the pink boots, kicking toward the river end. He'll kick this one through. He's done well. He's narrowed the margin, but not enough to be trailing at three-quarter time. And as we hit the three-quarter time buzzer, it is Brigades trailing at the moment. So Northampton 8-11-59. Lead Brigades 8-6-54. A 5-point ball game. And you're listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Our Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is supported by our sponsors.
After trailing by 4 points at quarter time, 14 points at half time, Northampton hold the lead at the final break. They lead by 5 points. Quarter by quarter summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. For Northampton, Josh Kennedy has kicked 2. Singles to Trent Simpson, Blake Luxton, Harry Taylor, Liam Paletti, Josh Normington and Kingsley Smith. And for Brigades, the goal scorers, Hassan Ahmad Watkins has 2, Jamie Ryder has 2, Lucas Ronan, Christopher Ryder and Fletcher Clastorney has 1 apiece. So a pretty good performance. In fact, Christopher Ryder has got 2 as well.
Yes, he has, yes. Yeah. Full back in the middle now. Up they go. One after a bit of a battle there by Flynn Dillon, but goes away of Brigades, I should say, Northampton into the half-forward area, and there a nice mark is taken by Kingsley Smith.
So Blake Luxon won it out of the centre again?
Yeah, Blake Luxon's had a good game, Glenn. Geez, he's been impressive. Kingsley Smith, he'll kick from about 25 metres on this one, 25 to 30 metres. He's almost directly in front, slight angle. No breeze to speak of here at GBC Sports Park this afternoon. Still conditions, overcast conditions, big crowd in attendance. And he comes now. Kingsley Smith. See what he can do. Kicking toward the river end. It's going to hold up. It's going to drop short, come off hands, and it's going to be taken through. No, it's taken over the boundary. No, the play goes on as Northampton keep it in. And eventually it does go over the boundary. So that's probably a good result for Northampton. Wasn't taken through the points.
Yeah, you think Brigades would have forced it through, but forced behind.
Would have. So the ball will be thrown in again now. So Northampton still in a scoring position. They lead by 4 points at quarter time. The ball inside the corridor. Comes off a defender for Brigade. Straight down the corridor again. Running onto it is this player, Plastoni. He's been good this afternoon, but bottled up pretty quickly. Gee, young foot took on a much bigger customer and brings him to ground. And that was the big player there in Jack McQuee. Brings him to ground. Umpire says no prior opportunity. The ball's thrown up once again. Flynn Dillon and both Rackman, Johnson working hard with him there. And they'll throw it up once again. Glenn, in that quarter, better players for mine for Brigades. Sam Millett, Patrick, Clostoni, Sipler and Lucas Ronan.
Once again for Northampton, Blake Luxton, Braden Jupp, Flynn Dillon doing very, very well. Dylan Ralph has been a little bit quieter by his standards today. Still getting a bit of the ball as you have an opportunity there to take it. But it's picked up by Hayden Johnson, the big man for Brigades. Kicks it up forward. Cam Holmes leads the race for the ball for Northampton. Puts his head down. Better get rid of the ball quickly. He does so now. Ball spills. Goes the way of the player there in Perham for Brigades. Kicks it forward, but only as far as the Northampton player there in Connor Westbrook. Westbrook kicks it forward. Goes the way of Paletti. Goes through his hands. Goes the way of Mick Quick. He's tackled. Good tackle put on him by the Northampton player there in Liam Paletti. And Liam Paletti is rewarded with the free kick.
Unassuming player is Paletti, isn't he?
Yeah, he kicked a good goal earlier on too. Gets it up the ground, but the kick is marked by Ben Bockman. Bockman now on centre wing, clubroom side, kicks it up towards half forward. Goes the way of Reed Foot, goes to Fletcher Clostoni, back to Reed Foot. He gets a kick forward, gets it up towards Hassan. Brigades fighting hard for the ball through Ryder. Ball goes in the way of the Northampton player. Ball held to that player. Umpire Claire Knight will come in and throw the ball up. Interesting scorelines at other games today as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. The Northampton game is a good one here, and we're here at GBSC Sports Park. The other game is at Greenough Oval, and we see the half-time score there. The game's running later there. It started later, and at half-time, Chapman Valley 12 goals, 1, 73. Lead Mullawa 1 goal, 2, 8. No surprise there, but there is a surprise brewing out at the recreation ground, the Red Dust Holdings recreation ground. At three-quarter time, Towns 12 goals, 3, 75. Lead Railway 6 goals, 1, 37.
Coming out of defence now for Brigades. They're pushed there, I should say, out of the defence for Northampton. Brigades pushing down hard inside the corridor. They can't get any traction though. Brigades, I should say Northampton, stifling their effort somewhat, but a free kick will go the way of Brigades on this occasion. Off the half-back line, Deschamps, I should say. He's got a little bit quiet in the second half. Sends it to the half-forward area. Beautiful lead as he comes running through. And that was a lovely mark taken by the player there in Jordan O'Brien. Gee, it was great stuff. Nice kick by Deschamps as well. So a kick from Jordan O'Brien here would put his
important
team
one
back in front. That's for sure. They'll have their tails up if he gets this one. Kicking toward the southern end. So Jordan O'Brien, let's see what he can do. O'Brien coming in on a slight angle, almost directly in front. He'll kick from about 45 when he gets onto this one. The Josh Kennedy skip. Only Josh can do better than anyone this afternoon with that. Goes straight through the middle. That's an important goal. He kicks true, does O'Brien, and he sees his side take the lead here in our Drenner O'Malley game day.
Yeah, Jordan O'Brien didn't play last week due to injury. Back in, very valuable player, the captain, co-captain, along with Mick.
Beautiful mark, Glenn.
Yeah, beautiful mark, and finished it off well, and that's the important thing. So 60 plays, 59 in favour of the Hawks.
A few years ago, he would have got the fridge.
Yes, that's right. A very good mark indeed very good standard of footy here this afternoon. Everyone is enjoying it. Still anybody's game. Can Brigades do it again? They defeated Northampton by 7 points when they last met in round 3. They're meeting again in round 8, which is the special mental health round. Think mental health, as umpire Bennett puts the mental health ball into the air. And the best of field picked by the umpires will be awarded that after the game. Ball comes back towards Brigades now, goes the way of Ben Bockman. He kicks it up towards half forward, looking up there for Ryder. Doing well, fighting hard is the Northampton player. Northampton player gets himself up, does pretty well there. Braden Jupp, he's worked really hard this afternoon. Umpire to put the ball in the air again. Once again, Flynn Dillon and the big fella in Johnson, but it was the third man in that got it. Goes the way of Ryder. Ball spills. Picked up now by Westbrook for Northampton. Kicks it forward. Goes the way of Trent Simpson. Trent Simpson screws the ball around the corner. Finds his teammate in Jamie Williams. Jamie Williams had it spent before it came to him. Clever sends it out. Goes the way of Dylan Ralph. Gives it away of Blake Luxton. Luxton kicks it up towards full forward. Looking up there for Harry Taylor. And a good tackle put on by the Brigades player. Umpire says he is caught in possession, or is he going to throw it up? Wait on the decision. No, free kick, yeah. He's caught in possession, so the umpire said you were caught in possession, you tried to break the tackle.
That's Harry Taylor we're talking about.
Yep, the ball goes forward, goes the way now of Flynn Dillon. So Flynn Dillon has the ball. Flynn Dillon kicks it back to whence it came, and a good mark taken by Trent Simpson. Trent Simpson screws the ball around the corner. He won't get the right angle. Up goes Josh Kennedy, picked up by Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor's got the right angle. Harry Taylor kicks a very fine goal. And Northampton are back in front here at the big gown at GMS, at GBC Score, GBS Sports Park. And we can tell you that Northampton are 9-11-65 to Brigades 9-6-60. 5-point margin in favour of the Rams.
Harry Taylor making amends, being caught with the ball a little bit earlier in that passage of play. But he certainly knows how to take an opportunity, and he took it on that occasion. Put his leads, his side back in front. 65 plays 60, as you heard from Glenn. This quarter brought to you by GT Russell, Chartered Accountants. It is tax time coming up, and what better person to go and see that knows all the rules and all the regulations, and will make sure he get a good return. I'm sure he is Grant Russell himself. You'll find him in Chapman Road. The ball back in the middle now. See if they can answer the challenge, Brigade. It's been a great game this afternoon. The crowd have really enjoyed this contest. Up they go. Flynn Dillon up against Johnson. That's been a great contest in itself. I think Dillon has won more of the taps today, but Johnson has really pushed him. So the ball back in the middle again. Like Lastoni's game, geez, player can play anywhere on the ground, and he certainly is going to maybe be the difference in this game in the end, as a free kick goes away to Northampton off the half-back line. It's with this player in Dylan Ralph. Ralph, a nice high kick just in front of the scoreboard. Goes the way of that player. He sends it forward, and King, he can't meet any target. The ball goes to ground. Players diving on top of each other. The umpire lets it play on, but eventually blows the whistle, and Harry Taylor will get a free kick. Forced into the ground was Taylor, and the green lights that are emanating from the scoreboard. He shoots toward the goal, comes off hands, and through for the minor score. So if anything, Glenn, there's been this game has stepped up somewhat in the final term.
Yeah, so Northampton now 9 goals, 12, 66. Lead Brigades, 9 goals, 660, a 6-point ball game. As we go around the grounds, we can tell you that there's been injury to a Mullawar player who has either got a broken leg or a broken ankle. So the game has been held up, and they have got the ambulance, awaiting the ambulance. So that game may be a little bit later. A good mark there taken by Dion Dan. Dion's kick didn't live up to his good work with a mark, and now an opportunity for Northampton's Jack McQueen to bring the ball back in. So just repeating, the game at Greenock has been held up as they wait an ambulance to arrive because a Mullawar player has got a broken leg or a broken ankle. Good mark there taken by Flynn Dillon.
Flynn Dillon kicks it into the half-forward area. Glenn, I'm taking my sunglasses off, but then I realised I haven't got them on. It's pretty dark here this afternoon as the ball goes forward now again for Northampton. Cloud cover here at GBSC Sports Park. The lights might have to come on before this game is out as it goes toward the boundary. Picked up by Kingsley Smith. He shoots toward the big sticks. Josh Kennedy's there. He's got 2 to beat. Goes backward the way of his teammate there in Williams. Williams fires away and misses all and sundry.
And the good news is an ambulance has arrived at Greenock Oval, so that player will be removed as soon as it's safe to do so. It's good to see that he's being well looked after, and we wish him all the best.
66 plays 60. Northampton have a lead, just a straight kick, Glenn.
Yes, it's anybody's game still, but as we read right from the start, Northampton, if they were to lose this, they would rue their poor kicking. They have kicked 9 goals, 12. Brigades have kicked 9 goals, 6, so Brigades have been very efficient. Northampton have the ball in their forward 50 again, but the ball is cut off there. Good bit of play taken by Sam Millett. Sam Millett goes across the ground, picks out Nathan Svensson. Svensson comes further across the ground, finds Ben Bockman. Ben Bockman takes the bounce. A brave man on half back, gets a kick forward, and the ball goes up the ground. Good mark taken by Dion Dan. Dion Dan gets it out to Hassan Ahmad Watkins. He kicks it towards full forward, looking there for Ryder. Ryder running very close to the boundary line. Ball goes out of bounds. There'll be a boundary throw-in about 5 metres around from the right point post at the city end of the ground. So Ahmad Watkins got the ball forward there. Ball to be thrown back in. So the boundary umpire puts the ball back into play. It's in the danger zone for Northampton. Brigades are desperate to get a goal while they have it there. Ball comes back to Northampton. Northampton get a handball away. Flynn Dillon gets a kick away. Picked up by Fletcher Clastorni. Clastorni kicks forward. The big fella flies, so does the small fella. Ball goes the way now of Hassan Ahmad Watkins. Tries to break a tackle. Umpire said that he didn't have any prior opportunity. Lucky because he tried to break the tackle. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Young Reed Foot was almost on top of the Eiffel Tower there, Glenn, unable to take the mark. The ball coming outside the corridor now. Holding it in are Brigades as we see Ryder send it inboard. Dan's there. He's got 1 to beat. He'll hold on to the ball. He's pretty clever, this player. Gets it to a teammate who goes back through traffic. It's bottled up and be thrown up again just outside the big arc here. The 50-metre arc in favour of the forward line for Brigades. It is 12 minutes gone. A lot of time to go in the final term. Goes away of Dillon. He knocks it down. Over the back. It's picked up now by Jupp. The captain sends it further afield. He's looking for this player in Simpson. Simpson's dealt with by his opposite number. That number is also dealt with. And a free kick will go the way of the number 3. We're talking about Isaac Ronan. Isaac Ronan. The Ronan boys have been good today. Luke is probably out pitting his brother this afternoon. The ball down the line and up to a couple of players, but the mark is taken by the Northampton player on this occasion, and that's Dylan Ralph. In comes the youngster. Gee, great play by Sipler and also Reed Foot to nullify that passage of play.
Yeah, we're playing 13 minutes in this final quarter with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. 6 points the margin. It's been a very tight, close contest all day. Northampton lead at the moment. The next goal for Brigades would even the score. The next goal for Northampton may spread it to 12 points. It may make it very difficult. Ball goes the way now of the Northampton player who gets a handball away. Goes the way of Connor Westbrook. Handball goes the way of Bartolo. In goes the Northampton player. Play on's the call. Northampton perhaps a little bit aggrieved by that one. Goes the way of Lucas Ronan who kicks it up forward. Goes the way of the player there and Dylan Ralph. In goes Dion Dan. Dion Dan got a handball away, or did he? Umpire said no you didn't. And the free kick goes the way of Braden Jupp. So Braden Jupp will get the free kick on half back. Nobody stands his mark, so you ought to turn around and get going. So Braden Jupp will go back, and the Brigades youngster will stand his ground. Archie Bogard in his first league game. Kicks it forward. Good mark taken by Flynn Dillon over the top of Fletcher Clastorni. There goes the kick from Dillon. Flynn Dillon up towards full forward, looking there for the danger man. Josh Kennedy's there. The ball comes out. Ball running free. In goes the Brigades defence. Ball spills. Goes away Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor throws it on his left boot. And Northampton get another goal. And Harry Taylor gets his second goal of the quarter. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, it is Northampton. 10 goals, 12, 72. They lead Brigades 9-6, 60. So a 12-point ball game. Have Northampton done enough? Only 15 minutes gone. Still plenty of time. But Northampton in tight scoring contest. Harry Taylor kicks 2 goals in this quarter and certainly helps Northampton look like they're on the way to another 4 premiership points.
Yeah, Glenn called it too early. Only time will tell. We're back in the middle now. Brigades have all the work ahead of them in the dying stages of this game. As I said, dark conditions. It is good conditions, overcast. No wind to speak of, no breeze to speak of. Great football. No rain at all today, so not too bad underfoot either as the ball comes back in again. GT Russell Chartered Accountants bringing you this final exciting term by Drennan O'Malley Game Day. Round 8 for the GNFL, the ball coming out the way of Westbrook. He's had a few kicks this afternoon. The youngster kicks it into the half-forward area. He's looking for Simpson there. Simpson's got 2 to beat. He does that. He gets it to a teammate, takes it back to Simpson, and he's bottled up as well as you hear the crowd roar. Free kick going the way of the defender there in Patrick. Whoa, up goes Lucas. Ronan couldn't take the mark. The ball spills free. Foot's there. He can't grab hold of it. Goes back the way of Ralph on this occasion. He gets it into space. Picked up by Sippler. Sippler kicks into that player in Ralph. Ralph collects it again, so one player to another pretty quickly. Ralph off his boot into the half-forward area. Simpson goes up, can't take the mark, comes off hands. A player grabs the ball, is quickly bottled up. And there'll be a throw-in the deep attack now once again for Northampton. So Northampton, Glenn, have really pushed things back in this Drennan O'Malley Game Day.
Yeah, Northampton have kept coming. They've been able to get the score on the board and do it very, very well. So it's an opportunity there for the ball to be thrown back into play. And the ball gets brought forward, goes the way of Northampton, who shoot on goal again. And that looks pretty good. That's Josh Normington. And he's made something out of nothing. And if Northampton didn't have it before, they certainly have the game in their keeping now. On the JMH Group scoreboard, it is Northampton 11-12. And they lead the Brigades side 9-6, so 60 plays 78, 18-point margin in favour of the Rams, the reigning premiers. When these sides last met was up at Percher International Oval in round 3. It was a 7-point win to Brigades, but this time it looks like it's Northampton's turn. So they're 1 game apiece in this 2024 season.
17 minutes gone in the final term. Northampton have a handy lead in the context of this particular match. 78 plays 60. That is an 18-point margin, Glenn, the biggest margin in the match so far. So that shows you how good the game has been today. Ball back in the middle. He's working hard, goes away of Luxton. Liked his game today. The youngster certainly has risen to the top. Very creamy indeed as he sends it forward. Players diving on top of it and bottling it up once again. So, next week, Glenn, where are we headed? We're headed out to the Big Freeze, and I'm already starting to get cold. Yeah, you ought to, Peter, because you've got to go down the slide with a number of other celebrities from both the Railways and Chapman Valley clubs and people associated with footy. It's a great time to raise some funds. And, of course, Chapman Valley will have some quality players, as Railways will. But Railways have got a bit of work to do in the next 7 days because the final score has come through with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Final score there at Red Dust Holdings Recreation Ground. And Towns, 15 goals for, have defeated Railways 8 goals for. So a 7-goal win in favour of the Bulldogs. So that's a massive win for Towns. And now Towns putting pressure on Railways for that 4th position. The biggest scalp for the Bulldogs in the last 4 years, Glenn, so they will be very much celebrating tonight. Back there at the Bulldogs' home at WA Country Builders Stadium as Northampton go forward again. Oh! And they've scored another goal. The bounce wasn't kind for the defender, and Northampton have scored another goal and really sealed this game this afternoon. Who kicked that? At GBSC Sports Park, and so I didn't see it in the end, Glenn, but we'll have to qualify that in the end. But the ball bounced and didn't look like it was going to go anywhere near the goals, and the defender misjudged it. Went one way, the ball went the other, and went through for the major score. So Kingsley Smith is the goal scorer, and that sees Northampton 12-12, 84. They're going to win this game against Brigades 9-6-60. A 24-point margin, the biggest of the match. Yes, so a very interesting scoreline, and the game has been called off at Greenough Oval, sadly. The player, big injury there, and the game has been called off at Greenough Oval, so that's a sad situation. A Mullawa player has been injured severely, so the game has been extinguished while the ambulance works on that player. We believe it's a leg injury, so we wish that player and all the people involved
with the Mullawall Footy Club and the Chapman Valley Footy Club all the best. The game has been abandoned at Greenough Oval due to an injury to a Mullawall player.
And despite that sad ending out at Greenough Oval this afternoon, the two winners in Brigades and Towns have really made the competition very exciting.
It is, yeah. It's going to be very interesting, and certainly you touched on games next weekend. We know Railways play Chapman Valley. That's our Drennan O'Malley Motors game day at Mazzucchelli Oval next weekend. But Brigades, they take on Mullawall. Brigades will be favourite, but they'll be coming off a loss. And Rovers take on Towns, and we know Towns are coming off a win. So Towns, they could win. If they win, they'll go into the 4 next weekend, one would think, if Chapman Valley have got to beat Railways, of course. Railways have really got a big week ahead of them, and they have to regroup and get the runs on the board next week against Chapman Valley.
Brigades were looking okay. They had a narrow loss last week to Chapman Valley. Probably were expected maybe to clinch this one here this afternoon, but Northampton had other ideas of being the reigning premiers, and things have really tightened up. So an exciting finish to the season, as second half of the season, I should say, as the ball goes forward again, and Harry Taylor does pretty well and kicks another goal. So it's raining goals here at GBST Sports Park, as the former Geelong great kicks the 13th goal of the afternoon for his side, Northampton, and they go to 13 goals 12, and they lead Brigades 9 goals 6, and it seems like Brigades have shut shop.
Yes, and Harry Taylor gets his 3rd goal of the afternoon, and clearly amongst one of the Rams' better players. So it's a 30-point ball game. It's gone very quickly, Peter. It was a 5-point margin in favour of Northampton at three-quarter time, and now it's a 30-point margin. So it's been a big win. Still plenty of time to play. 21 and a half minutes gone in this final quarter for GT Russell Chartered Accountants. As we mentioned, the game has been abandoned at Greenough Oval. A Mullawall player has a serious leg injury. The ambulance is on scene, but the game has been called off. And Chapman Valley, when we last heard at half-time, were 12 goals 1 to Mullawall 1 goal 2. And the other game, which has been a little bit of a mini upset, Railways have gone down to Towns. Towns 15 goals 4 have defeated Railways 8 goals 4. So an amazing scoreline there. As the ball's on half-back now to Northampton's Michael Wright. Michael Wright kicks the ball across the ground, looking there for a teammate. Ball slapped forward. In goes Brigades. Ball comes back out. Whistle on play. Umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go the way of Brigades' Dion Dan. So Dion Dan has the ball now, and Dion Dan has an opportunity to send the ball forward. So Dion Dan for the Hawks. A big kick up towards the teeth of goal. Up they go. Ball comes to the front, picked up by Jack McQuee. Brigades have an opportunity, or do they? Goes the way of young Reed Foot. Reed Foot from 30 metres out. Shoots on goal, but unfortunately Reed is off target on this occasion. And on the JMH Group scoreboard, Brigades go to 9 goals 7, 61. They trail Northampton 13 goals 12, 90.
Tomorrow, friends, on Sunday, Glenn, from 10. Hope you can join us for some fun, frivolity, and a bit of information what's happening around town. Mayor Jerry Clune will join us to talk about what's happening in and around the city of Greater Geraldton, and foremost in that conversation will be the demolition that has taken place at Point Moore.
Yes, the ball will be brought back in now by Jack McQuee. Jack McQuee gets the kick out wide, looking out here for the big fella in Flynn Dillon. Fletcher Clastorni's there, so too is Harrison King. Sees the ball across the brown, and the ball goes out of play. And a very interesting scoreline, 29 points the margin in favour of the Rams. So it looks like a very good win here to Northampton, returning the score after last time that they went down by those 7 points.
The ball in the half-forward area now for Brigades, still fighting away, working hard. Young Brockman's been good this afternoon, so too Sipala. Reed Foot has certainly cemented himself in the side, so too Lucas Ronan, but not enough this afternoon. They really need a key forward. I thought that Clostoni could be that. He hasn't been playing up there all day. They went with a small forward line this afternoon, and the difference is that Northampton have a tall forward line, something to kick at, and it certainly makes a difference, Glenn. It
does. There's certainly a very interesting situation. Plenty of big men out there today, but I guess in the end you'd have to say that Harry Taylor has probably been the most effective big man out there, along with the big player Flynn Dillon and also Hayden Johnson and Fletcher Clastorni. I think they've all played their part in various ways, so the big men have done well. Josh Kennedy has been well held, I think, today. I think Nathan Svensson would have to be pretty happy with his day out against the big fella, although Josh has kicked 2 goals. That's a pretty good effort. Northampton have dominated the ball in the forward 50, but Nathan Spencer's done well to keep him to only 2 goals.
Certainly has. The ball in the forward line again for Brigades. Time running out well and truly for the Hawks. Flynn Dillon amongst the better players once again. He'll get some votes, probably one would think today. The Clune medal is currently holding that medal in his back pocket as it goes away now of Williams into the half-forward area. Kennedy comes through, textbook mark by Big JK, and he'll shoot from about 45 metres. So Josh Kennedy lays it off unselfishly, as you'd expect. He has done all of his career. He's going to give Williams a shot at goal because he's the man that set him up.
Yeah, so Jamie Williams has an opportunity to kick a goal, and Jamie's worked hard today. Hasn't got the scoreboard any trouble, but Jamie has an opportunity now. But as you say, very, very hard to stop Josh Kennedy when he's coming out like that, and Nathan Svensson had nowhere to go. So Josh Kennedy still got those 2 goals. He probably laid off a couple as well, at least, because that's the way he plays the game. So the ball with Jamie Williams, 50 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the Chapman River end. He's across the face of goal through the left-hand side, 1 point only. Northampton, another minor score. Northampton, 13 goals, 13, 91. Brigades at 9-7, 61. So we've got a 30-point ball game in favour of the reigning premier, Northampton, on the JMH Group scoreboard. Dying stages of this final term. Been a pretty entertaining game. Been a tight contest throughout the day, but in the last quarter, it's been Northampton who found their mojo. They have kicked some goals in this quarter. They've kicked some 5 goals, 4 in this quarter, and Brigades have kicked 1 goal, 1. So there we have it. Full time at the football, and Northampton have got a very important win. And Northampton, 13 goals, 13, 91, have defeated Brigades 9-7, 61. So as we mentioned, a 30-point margin in favour of Northampton. So Northampton keep pushing their way up the premiership table with that 30-point victory, and getting back at Brigades, who won up at Northampton by 7 points in round 3. So winners today in GNFL football have been Towns, Chapman Valley, and in our broadcast game it has been Northampton. Northampton 13-13, 91 have defeated Brigades 9-7, 61, and you're on Radio Mama.